Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Cronky, and this is the Cronky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Cranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Cranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Cranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good evening. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not getting good sound through this, Testing. Can you guys hear me? Those of you in the chat, can you hear me? Let me know. I'm not getting the sound, so something is not right here. Can you guys hear me? Oh, this is better. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Even though for me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, same day, different time. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. As you come in, you know the routine, hit the like button and bless up. I have a lot to talk about today. I'm going to get rid of I want to call them topical topics. By the way, you just joined or you're listening to the most genuine, the most credible, the most authentic, the most objective YouTuber. People are going to be like, Cranky, what are you talking about? What have you been drinking? Yep, I think so, actually. And I try to make sure when I put something out, I get empirical evidence substantiate, or I get reliable evidence substantiate what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I try not to put it out. Now, sometimes it's very difficult to get that credible evidence because someone may tell you something and you trust them and they don't come through. But most times, unless I get it from credible sources, and if I can authenticate it, I will do so, then that's how it works for me. But thanks for being here. There are 3 main topics for discussion today. And then within one of the topics, we're going to have subsets. So I'm going to talk EPL update. As you know, my team didn't do well this weekend. I'm going to talk NBA update because the season starts tomorrow and my team will be playing in Boston. And then I am going to speak about I don't know why StreamYard knows stuff put their crap up on here because I pay them. The stuff is not supposed to be up here. So, but anyway, I don't know why it's showing live with StreamYard. I get annoyed with these things. But anyway, and then I'm going to talk about Reggae Boyz in some respects, actually. And for the Reggae Boyz discussion, it's 3 components to it. Well, one is about players, so Louis Baker, Isaac Hayden, not Henry, and then talk about Mason Green. I'm going to leave Mason Green for last because I have some information there. And then some of the matters I want to talk about, actually. But bless up Fireman, Dre, DJ Ricardo, Michael Roberts, Triple E, and Corey Baker was here early. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And if you haven't, I'm going to drop this throughout the show. Blessing Madrid. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm going to drop both of the channels that I have, actually. Because I do have another channel called Balanced View. And I am actually going to... you guys should subscribe to it. I'm going to talk about things other than sports, obviously. This is mainly a sports channel. Bless up Tuffy Rudy. This is mainly a sports channel. So I'm going to talk about things other than sports on it. And there are a lot of things happening in the world which I believe we should talk about. So that's my Cranky Live... That's my Cranky Live URL link. So if you haven't subscribed, please click on it and do so. And this is my Balanced View channel, which I'm starting to do a a dual thing. Put some of these on Balance View just because I'm trying to get subscriber numbers up, and then I'll probably just bifurcate the two channels, not duplicate what I publish on each. But let me start with EPL because it was an interesting weekend, and you guys don't love the Reggae Boy discussion, actually. Well, I say you're gonna love it. I don't know if you're gonna love it, but we'll talk about it. So just I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not sure you're gonna love it, frankly. But I'm gonna talk about it because I think it's there's been a lot of news going around over the weekend about Greenwood and some of those things, actually. So we should talk about that. No, we're not gonna keep EPL Nitro. You guys gotta get more discipline, Nitro. We're not skip EPL. You guys want to skip EPL 24/7. I want to talk about that Reggae Boy. We have to be more disciplined when it comes to that. Can we just talk EPL 24? If we just talk Reggae Boy 24/7, we cannot find. I won't say I find it boring, but we have to expand our horizons. So I'm gonna talk EPL first. We'll get to the. You know something. You know how newscasters do and the media does. They save the best for last. I'm saving the best for last. I'm saving the best for last. Now we have to talk Gunners. We have to talk Gunners. We have to think this about Gunners. So let's start out with the first game. But you know what? This is Saturday. We're gonna start Saturday. We come back to Chelsea. We're just gonna start Saturday first. This is the first game. So I did watch this game, and I'll say this actually. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, not a Spurs fan, and I don't hate Spurs like some Arsenal fan. I more hate Man U and Liverpool and possibly Man City. And the reason is, I don't hate people who don't win anything. I can't hate a team that doesn't win anything. In fact, I feel sorry for them. I don't have it. So when people are hating Tottenham and give them a hard time when they lose, I don't do that because what can I say? I don't do that because you know, I don't find them to be that important to do that. I don't. So why would I do that? Why would I do that? So I don't do that actually. I feel sorry for Spurs, but they look really good. In fact, I think they look better than my team, to be honest. If you watch Spurs plays this year, they have been very, very good. Even the games that they have lost, the Leicester game, the game against Newcastle, they have dominated this season. They haven't, bless up DJ Johnson or Dajay Johnson. They have looked really, really good this season. Especially play like Kulusevski. They now have Son back. They look better than us, actually. They have dominated possession stats. I love to see what they look like when they play City and play Liverpool because they're playing very good football and they're now getting results because they're a losing game. They should be winning. Tycoon says, Reggae Boy is easy. We're going to play for Jamaica. Even we're not getting selected the coach. Okay. We'll talk about that, Tycoon. Yeah, jump ahead. We'll talk about it. Talk about that. Let's me a smile, Tycoon. Me not worry about them thing. We'll talk about that. So then I watched the West Ham Spurs game. I was watching like 2 or 3 games simultaneously, people jumping back and forth. I watched it, and if you just come in, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I did indicate what the URL is for Cranky Live if you haven't subscribed or Balance View. Aston Villa game. I did watch most of this game. I thought Fulham gave them a good run. Aston Villa eventually came up with a win. I know everybody want to talk about Leon Bailey. He played. That's all I'll say about that. He played. But Villa is playing well, right? Villa is playing well. West Ham can't defend themselves. And Kudus lost his head. I'm not sure what happened to him. He was trying to hit everybody in the face. And first of all, he did wrong by trying to kick the ball when the man was down. And then took it personal when he's getting accosted. So I think it was Van de Ven who was trying to kick. So that wasn't good on Kudus' part. No, I'm sorry. I missed up the game. The previous game with Spurs was when Kudus was trying to kick Van de Ven. In the Aston Villa Fulham game, I thought it was an even game for a while, but eventually Villa turned out to be the better team. Holly Watkins scored a brilliant header. That's what I always say, people, which is headers are chances too. People seem to think headers are not chances. Headers are chances too. When you get a header chance, as we saw in some games, like play for Jamaica, who's it that got a header chance? It was Romario Williams that got a header and he missed it and people not give him a hard time. No, headers are just part of football. If you miss a simple header, you should get the same grief as if you miss a open goal, for example, if the header is an open goal. So I consider it to be just as important as using your feet. And then Manu won. Wow. Manu won. Pinnock scored in this game. Really good header. They were up 1-0, but I think they have lost a lot with Tony and Wissa and his showing. Yeah, that was. I don't think Corey Burke going to live that one long. Bless up, know yourself. Hey, Floyd. I think Corey Burke is going to live. You know the worst thing about Corey Burke, Heather? And I spoke to Corey Burke when I was in people. Corey Burke is the nicest person ever. No, seriously. I think I spoke to Corey for about 25, 30 minutes. Corey is the nicest person ever, frankly. I mean, as a footballer I've met, he's one of the nicest footballers I've met. But I must admit, Corey worked some hard. And it wasn't Corey's fault. The ball just ricocheted off him, but he's just so unfortunate. And you know the worst thing about that game? I don't think he should have played that game because people don't know this. And some people may know. He was coming off a very bad injury. And I'm sure he wasn't fully fit. But I think some players just love so much to play for their country. They just really love it. And even if he's injured, I think he's going to try to play. And so he's going to get the blame, but I don't think he deserves any blame because it was inadvertent on his part. The Brighton Newcastle game, Newcastle should have won that game. It reminded me of the Newcastle against Spurs game, where Spurs dominated, but Newcastle won. Newcastle dominated, and then Mr. Welbeck, who got hurt, scored, and Newcastle lost that game. They should have won that game. I think Gordon was poor. In fact, most of them were poor. Gordon missed a lot of goals. Issa missed goals. Not a great performance. And then Southampton were up 2-0 against Leicester. And it reminded me of when Everton was up 2 against who they played? Bournemouth and lost 3-2, even though Everton's was worse because they gave up 3 goals in probably 15 minutes. Crazy. I'm not touching that subject, people. We're gonna get to this. Don't so impatient. We'll get to it. Although I mistake why the ball towards the goal. That's why everybody that beat him. No, he didn't hit the ball towards the ball. Just hit him in his head. I mean, it was funny in that game, gaming, because I was in the stadium. I was there with Minzy actually, and everybody was getting excited that the game was over. Last kick of the game, and I didn't celebrate. I didn't get up. I just watched it, saying, "Can't this damn whistle just blow for the game to be over?" And it did blow for the game to be over, but we had lost by then. So at least we tied in regular time and then lost in overtime. And frankly, to be honest, people blaming Corey Burke. I think Cephas deserved just as much blame. And you guys know why, right? Cephas deserved as much blame as Corey Burke. In fact, Cephas deserved more game than Corey Burke. Because what Corey Burke did was inadvertent. The ball just ricocheted off him. What Cephas did was just mind-boggling on that one-on-one with Turner. So Ipswich, Everton. Ipswich may be going down. So if they go down, I just may not get that England chance because they ain't putting nobody from the Championship in Premier League. At least I don't see anyone in the Championship now playing Premier League. So who knows? He may still come back for Jamaica. He can't get no game. We are a country of last resort. Yeah, no. See, in that game, I mean, Turner, Turner have 2 left feet, right? If he did anything, if he did this show, whatever he did, instead of trying to kick the ball around Turner, if he just go around Turner, he scored. That was just bad. 2-0, the game is over. Because US was frustrated. We defended brilliantly that day. That was like Arsenal against City, except Arsenal did draw the game, even though they were leading. And then Bournemouth against Arsenal. So I'm going to spend more time on this than I do for any other results. So in this game, obviously Arsenal lost 2-0. Saliba got a red card after the referee gave him a yellow and VAR intervened. And I'm a VAR supporter, but sometimes they said if the issue if it's subjective, then you got to stay with the referee decision. So the referee said it was a yellow. To me, one could say so far from goal, Saliba would have called him back, or Ben White would have called him. And I'm not complaining about the red card, but I don't think that should have been overturned. If it was a red card the first time, I have no problem with it. I think it should have been overturned. Crank, we don't want us, and you can't keep waiting for England. I'm gonna get to all of that BM because I think you guys have something skewed in terms of how you guys think. I'm gonna try to change that way of thinking. I think you guys are messed up when it comes to certain things, actually. I'm gonna change that way of thinking. I'm gonna come back to you. Well, I can't change it, but I'm gonna provide my perspective. So here's my thing about Arsenal and Bournemouth. So it's always hard for us to play at Bournemouth. Remember one time we went there to play them, they had us down 3-0 and we tied. I think it was on the Eddie Howe. Giroud playing well, we tied them 3-3. So there is no way in God's earth that when we got the red card, Trossard should have stayed on the field. First of all, he was playing poorly. Second of all, he made a pass which everybody's trying to figure out what he was trying to do. No one can understand it. The pass alone take him off, and then the way he was playing just made it official. My manager is let me think about what I want to say first. I don't have to think about it. Bad, atrocious, awful in-game manager. Let me just say this again. He's an awful in-game manager. I've been watching him for about 4+ years now. I remember 2.5 years ago when we played Man U at Man U, and I think we scored first with Martinelli, and they took away the goal. Say it was a foul on Eriksen. It wasn't. It was a bad call and they subsequently said it was a bad call. We scored first. They came back and scored. So it was 2-1 for Man U. And you know what he did? He put on like 3 forwards. So even Nketiah didn't know what they were playing. No, the players didn't know where they were playing. They were all over the place, right? He's a manager who panics when under pressure. I think we have gotten about, under this tenure, we may be now to 10 men about 17 times, and he's only won 3 of those. This year, when we're down for 2 of those games we were leading, his strategy doesn't work because what he does is go totally defensive. So you can win the game if they don't score, but you can extend your lead, right? Now, in the game against Bournemouth, when we were down to 10 men, Martinelli got a chance to score, which made it 1-0. But even then, he put on Kiwior, who I don't rate, and who has 2 left feet, and therefore he can't play on the right side. He put him at right center back. Why not put White as center back? Put on Lewis Kelly on the right, because he can play both. And then we're a much balanced team. Trossard should have come off the field. That's not even debatable. Trossard should have come off for Sterling. Sterling should not be taken off. Sterling was the only one who looked dangerous in the game. Only player on the field looked dangerous in the game. We're a bunch of tortoises. We can't run fast. Sterling got a ball in the first half on the halfway line. He pushed to Trossard. He can't run, leave anybody. And Trossard is an impact sub. He can score, but the rest of his game is wanting. So it was very upsetting. And I keep telling people this, and I heard Corey Jennings on Talk Sports saying the same thing. It's diabolical, his in-game management. He does the same strategy. Put on a bunch of defenders and hope for the best. It ain't working. No, I'm not saying Arteta out. I think he's brilliant in 2 areas. One is, well, he righted the club in some respects, so we're competing. One is he does a good job of bringing in good players. You know, some of the players he brings in, you break the question. Marina has impressed me. But then secondly, he looks like he do a good job in training with the players. But in-game management, he's worse. He's the worst. I mean, I've never seen the in-game manager where I say, oh, that's a brilliant move. Poor. And his decision-making, like against City, all the people are jumping around saying, oh, we're so brilliant defending. We could only draw or lose that game. We ain't going to win the game. You're playing against Man City, and you have 10 men behind the ball, and they just come at you, and they have 97% possession. At some point, something's going to break down and give. And it did. If he had put somebody, here's another strategy, people, I think, when you have 10 men on the field. Don't put 10 men behind the ball. Put somebody at the halfway line who has some speed. Force the opposition to have 2 players to mark that one person. So then you even out the balance of who's on the field. If you put out 10 men behind the ball, like our City plays, then they camped outside your 18-yard box, and eventually you're going to acquiesce. Even if it's the last minute that happened to us. People say, oh, we came close. There's no cigar coming close. So anyway, so much of my ranting about Arsenal. Arteta, you're an awful in-game manager. Simply awful. Now on Sunday, Wolves played Man City, and Man City won 2-1. They scored with the last kick of the game. In this game, the referee caused Wolves the game. People, 79 people, 39 likes. That doesn't work. People, hit the like button. The referee called Wolves the game. Why would I say that? Ernest said, big up Cranky in our chat. However, he should not have scored a goal. Which goal are you talking about, Ernest? Who should not have scored? Don says, Cranky, remember the conversation we had a few weeks ago when I said Trossard doesn't offer much of a starter background? Yes, Dr. Dan, that's a fact. First of all, my wingers have to have speed. He has zero speed. He's not a good passer. He cost us the City game, not just with the red card, He's the one that made a bad pass, right? He made a bad pass that's led to him getting in trouble, that led to him getting sent off. And they play him in a 10 in that game. He's not a 10. He's on the bench and he comes on when we need a goal. Paul Edwards, my nasties are crazy. Hey, Paul, I always wondered this, Paul. Because when you come on, that's what you say all the time. I always wonder why you're here, Paul. Seriously, Paul. If I listen to an analyst or a so-called analyst, because we're on YouTube and you guys don't think we know anything, and this person makes no sense, they just talk garbage, why am I joining them on your channel and listening to them? It's crazy, Paul. So I'm not the one's crazy. You're crazy because I'm not sure why you're here. You said that all the time you come on. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy. I'm basically stupid. And yet you're here. So which madman wants to do another madman? You don't understand, Paul? Paul, I would suggest you find a channel where the people are very smart, they're eloquent, they're articulate, they're deductive, they reason well. And then you listen to them because I don't know what I'm talking about. Bye, Paul. Anyway, and that's not because you criticize me, Paul, but you do it 24/7. You say the same thing. I don't know why you're here. If you're here, you should just be silent. So I don't know you're here. Because there are some people, Paul, who criticize me bad, and then they're in the background watching me. It's amazing how that works, Paul. I'm telling you. And I'm laughing. Even some say they didn't subscribe. They stopped subscribing. They still come back and watch. Because I know they do. But anyway, it's not important. He's trying to be a thorn in my flesh, but I like to call out these people. I like to call them out because they are contradicting their own selves. Me now watching them. Me not watching no channel that have Trump on it now. Me not watch Fox News. Paul, me not watch Fox News. Because I pure nonsense them talk. I watch something where somebody's criticizing it. I don't watch Fox News. Okay? So you can leave, Paul. We have 80 people in the chat. You'll make it 79 if you leave. And I have no problem with that. So anyway, I have no problem with criticizing people, but if you come here every day and your first thing is say, I know what I'm talking about, and you listen to me, you're a madman. That's how I'm going to say, you're mad. So anyway, the Man City game, here's why I said the ref cost them the game. They have 5 minutes of extra time. We're at the 2 minutes and 54 mark. Wolves have the ball. They're dribbling down on City. It's about 3 against 3. And the ref is in position, The player get pushed in the back and fell over. The ref said, no foul, play on. City goes down and get like 4 corners straight and score. So my nephew and I are watching the game. And he's arguing me, that I'm wrong. I'm biased against City. And I said, okay, stop. Let's replay this. Go back and replay it. So we rewinded and replayed. And he said, oh, yeah, uncle, I agree with you. So obvious. I'm like, I know it's obvious. I am touchy like a girl. Oh, Lord. Bye. When you're going to go to that way to make your point and be negative, then you've lost me. We're not going to engage with you. I'm not even going to ban you, Paul. I'm just going to say, you know what? We're not engaged with you. I'm not putting any more of your comments. You have made your case this evening to be ignored. So anyway, you made a case to be ignored. So the ref call, I don't hear anybody complaining about that, people. It was so obvious. When I showed my nephew, he was like, oh yeah, I rewind it, go on Paramount, rewind it and look at the play. He got pushed in the back, he got tripped, and there was no foul for Wolves after they fought so hard. So that was so frustrating for me because I would love that game to be drawn. It should have been drawn. Because then Wolves had the ball, less than 2 minutes left. They take at least 30 seconds to take the free kick, a minute and a half left. You can wind the clock. And there are moments in game that cost you, like the moment when Trossard made that back pass. That's a moment that cost Wolves the game. 4 corners subsequent to that, and they lose the game. That was a really horrible decision. He said that's no fault. So, Sir Mike, when we are disputing what I'm saying, you got to bring facts, Sir Mike. Bring facts. People, let me say this. If you subscribe to Paramount or any channel like that, go to the Man City game. It's close to the end of the game, so you don't have to watch the entire game. Rewind, put it in. You don't put it in slow motion. Just rewind it at regular speed and look at that play, and tell me if it's not a foul or not. He got pushed with both hands in the back. It's not one hand, both hands in the back by Nunez. Got tripped up because Nunez, who used to play for Wolves, they didn't want to make the play, and they won the ball back. You go watch it and come back and tell to me. So everybody's focused on these things like the red card for Saliba. It caused Wolves the game. And the English referees are not good. I'm making a blanket statement because the best one is the one who gave us the red card the last time, and not because Arsenal. They're just not good. They're the only group of people in England that's all English. I think they have one or two Australians. Most of them, if not all of them, are English, and he's been in England a long time. So the players, the managers, the owners, most of them are not English. Anyway, just making a point. So Duckland is saying, Cranky, Arsenal are losers. I'm not sure what that means. Aren't we like in the top 4 now? Aren't we in 3rd place? I'll get to that. What do you mean we're losers, Duckland? I don't understand, Duckland. Which team you support, Duckland? I'm sorry, people. Peacock, not Paramount. I apologize for that. Yeah, Peacock, Drake, not Paramount. Peacock. I don't know why I keep Paramount. Paramount's where Jamaica games come on. But if you go to Peacock, you can see it. Monday crying session. No, I wasn't talking about Arsenal now, Duckland. I'm talking about Man City Wolves. And I was born in Wolverhampton, so I do watch Wolves. I do support Wolves, actually. And it's ridiculous. That call was ridiculous. So, Sir Mike, you didn't listen to me. There are moments in the game, Sir Mike, that cost you the game. So, Sir Mike, didn't the pass by Trossard to Saliba getting the red card cost Arsenal the game, Sir Mike? There are moments in the game which change momentum, which change outcomes. That's not disputable. They're in the 93rd minute, Sir Mike. They have 2 minutes left. They got a foul, which is a free kick for them. Going forward, the ball went the other way. And 4 consecutive corners after that, they lost the game. Please. Yeah, no. Triple E, we can't. Saliba's red card, we can't argue about the red card. My only dispute with the red card is this. They have said this year, the referee decision on the field stands unless there's incontrovertible evidence that it should be overturned. I'm not sure that evidence was apparent. You could dispute it. You could say White was wide. He's at the halfway line. Saliba is very quick. He could catch him. White could catch him. But I have no problem. It probably, if you're saying it's a stop a goal scoring opportunity. By the way, he was in an offside position, but Trossard's pass made him onside, right? But Saliba wasn't that far away because he tripped him. He wasn't that far away. So, yeah. I hear you, big deal. He said, I didn't say he will, big deal. I say he, big deal. The difference between BM, the difference between willing and may, and probably, there's a big difference. Will, you saying he will do this? That means it's definitive. That means it's a fact. He's going to turn X, Y, Z. Right? If I say it could be a situation where that occurs, that's different from BM. Don't spread rumors, Brady, man. Don't say something I didn't say. Jesus. Taco said, Cranky, they prefer Steve McLaren over Thomas Tuchel. It's quote system in quote. No, so here's what's funny about that, people. So if you listen to the younger generation, right, especially those, except for maybe Simon Jordan, most of those younger generation or Simon Jordan of the world will say Tuchel is a right pick. Harold Redknapp, Sam Allardyce, that's like Stewart for RW and Skill Core for Jamaica. Archaic people, they will complain about the appointment. The view for England is that, how can you have a German, because they had the World War 100 years ago. How can the German, or almost 100 years, how can it be a German to run a national team? Because you don't have good enough managers. You have about 4 or 5 managers in the Premier League who are English, and none of them are deemed to be excellent except maybe Eddie Howe. The rest of them are so-so, average. Of course, and they all have jobs. And so who are you going to get a job to? They're talking about give the job to Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard. You have to scratch your head like, what? Didn't Gerrard run Villa into the ground and Emery came and saved them? Didn't Lampard run Chelsea in the ground and everything in the ground? Crazy. So English FA wants to win. And they know they don't have good enough people to get the role. And did Sam Allardyce take money on the table? That's why he didn't, or was tricked into look like he was going to take money on the table. That's why he didn't get the job. That's why he lost the job. Go away, Allardyce. Anyway, last game of the weekend, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Good game. I thought Chelsea played well. I think Chelsea's problem is the middle of the park for them, meaning the defense. I think Colwell and Tosin, I don't think we're up to it. I think James played decent, but he's rusty. Got the goal that Jones scored. That ball can't come across and be in that situation. They were trying to play offside trap. It should be a midfielder marking Jones, frankly, but there were other sorts. But I thought Chelsea played well. But Liverpool is a better team, and Liverpool is going to be a tough team to deal with. In Liverpool game, the Chelsea player fouled on Jota, similar with Saliba foul, and he did. I agree, Alan. It should be a red card. It was just as bad. In fact, it was worse because Saliba's trip was inadvertent. Saliba didn't mean to trip him. He tripped him inadvertently. The foul on Jota should have been a red card. Maybe the FA spoke to, or maybe the PGML spoke to the referees before that game and says, "Look, we got to be careful with that." Here's another thing. I've said this a lot of times. Football is archaic. Football and its administrators are archaic. So here's why I said they're archaic. Let's think about red cards, for example. It's almost like the most red card. The seriousness of the event, of the issue, of the foul doesn't equate to be the same. So if I jumped in someone's knee to break their knee, it's the same outcome as if I just pulled somebody back going through on goal. Now, I don't say there shouldn't be punishment, but if that was done the first minute of the game, like Arsenal the first 30 minutes, then the team is playing 10 against 11 for the rest of the game. Does that warrant that situation? That makes no sense. Which other sport do we have that in? It's not dangerous play. And even in dangerous play, I think it should be a 10-minute window. You know what? You're down a man for 10 minutes. I don't see, in basketball, for example, you get kicked out of the game, somebody else took your spot. They don't even lose any of that. You get free throws, whatever it is. It just takes away from the spectacle of the sport, which is why they complain about VARs when they complain about that. It's archaic. Football to me is just coming to the 21st century. My team lost, so I started a stream and complain about it. So, because Duckland, nobody's stopping you, Duckland. Duckland is one of those critics, by the way, who I like to engage with, because most time you don't know what he's talking about. Just like, what's his name? Paul Evans, I know what I'm talking about. I see Paul disappeared. Good, Paul. Glad you disappeared. Stay disappear. Come on, people, hit the like button. 54 likes, 100 people. That doesn't work. Nitro said, Brown, the Margrave be replaced by Cephas until he exits. Look, for Cephas, I like Cephas as a player, by the way. I'm not sure he has a footballing brain, sounds really terrible, but I like Cephas. He has raw speed, which is missing a lot of times in football. Raw speed, which is, you know what? And he doesn't. Cephas is so fast, people. He doesn't even set his man up, and he still go by them. Can you imagine if he learned to set his man up to go by them? He'd be running by himself going towards goal. I mean, he's ridiculously quick off the mark. I don't think he's that fast. He's off his initial start. He's like a Coleman who run track and field. All right? They get up and everybody, what's his name that run the hurdles from America? They get up and everybody's still in the blocks. Cephas will take the ball and just push it and say, let's go for a race, which Gray doesn't do, by the way. And he doesn't have that takeoff speed. Cephas just need to learn to set his man up. And also, when he gets in dangerous position, make the right decision. All right? What do you think about Taylor Hines and Reggae Girl Squad? Let me just say this. Not a good move back to the Tycoon. I think there's a lot of discussion. Here's the thing. The JFF doesn't have a quota on the girls. You know why? Because but there's no girls to have quota with. They don't have a quota with the girls. With the girls, any team for the girls. Because the one team they put into the Caribbean to go play some, I know it's the Caribbean. What's the team that named Fraser? Played the other day, got what? What the score they got? Double digit? So at least we don't have any quota there. So we'll have a good team because a bunch of Jamaican heritage people who are overseas, as they're now called, who will be able to play and do well. So I support the move, Tycoon. I think we'll get more girls when we get in a better place. But I don't want to go reggae boys or reggae girls yet, people. We're getting there. I'm going to do my EPL. I'm going to do my Knicks too. You guys got to suffer through this. Or you go drink your water and come back. But I'm going to go do it too because I want to do it. Yeah, he okay, gaming. That makes sense. Because people, didn't you realize in that game against Honduras that he tried, I think he was successful on 3 or 5 dribble, 2 of those dribbles, he had no space, He just pushed the ball and he was gone. Like, you can't make that up, people. He just pushed the ball and he got around. That's the only time we got by people in that game. Cephas needs some good coaching. I think Cephas is going to be a very good player eventually. He needs some good coaching. When you have speed like that and some football ability, you should be a dangerous player. Dangerous player. Fraser's whip, yes. Whip is right. Take the other P off. Whip is right. They got whipping. But if you have their whipping, you probably leave the 2 P's there. Yeah, BM. I don't think K-Roy. Look, I spoke to K-Roy. You know, as I managed my program, I think I interviewed K-Roy, and I've said this before, K-Roy and Limbakisa. I'm going to say Dexter. I always mess up Dexter's last name. Brilliant kids to engage with. I'm telling you, people. If the other Jamaican kids were like that, they'd be in a good place. But I'm not sure K-Roy is there. I think K-Roy needs a lot of improvement in this game. But I like the kid, but I like him as a person. And I like that he has ability, but his game needs improvement. Honestly, I hear a lot about Chelsea fans say they don't deserve to win Chelsea. Yeah, well, you know what? Possession is part of the game. You want to be, if you go away to Anfield and you dominate possession, that's saying something. But they didn't create enough. It's hard to get by Van Dijk and Konate. They're 2 big giants. But you know what? In that game, what I thought the problem was, sometimes people, you're in your YouTube studio critiquing game, if you're saying about football, like how Paul Edwards said, know about football, right? But you're there scratching your head. So I have never seen a winger who struggled with Trent that much, where Trent get ball and his foot on the ball and stop him, like we're doing to Sancho. You know what? Sancho has no speed. Sancho is a good footballer, but he has no speed. He didn't beat Trent once. They put on Neto, and Neto was just running by him. He had to get help. He wasn't going to have a help on Sancho initially, but Trent needed help when Neto came on. I'm not sure why the coach didn't have Neto start in the first place. Keeps playing Sancho. Sancho doesn't do enough for me to guarantee a start. But hey, you got rid of Sterling. You brought in Sancho. Makes sense of that to me, people. I have no idea. Only Pep can help Cephas. No, Pep wouldn't help Cephas. He wouldn't use him. Pep is very funny. I think Cephas is going to be good for Jamaica. So doesn't Anthony need coaching to score the crosses from Cephas? Antonio? I'm not saying anything about Antonio. When I talk about Antonio, I get beaten. Because you can't criticize certain players. So people like Claudia may come on and jump on me and say me nothing about football. Because I said Dixon probably should play over Antonio sometimes. Antonio's a good player. But when you score 4 or 5 in 20, 1 is a penalty, 2 and 3 are screamers, not impressed. I'm not impressed. Yeah. CBM said, Cranky, see first find me of Vinny Jr. when he first went to Real Madrid. Raw pace could lock up at the end. No, I think Cephas has ability. When you have that kind of speed and can go by people, Cephas don't even plot, You must see Cephas play football. Cephas don't do no jerky move, Him no plot, him no do no jerky move, him no dip right and go left. The thing you learn when you start playing football, you learn at the park. Where you do, you look at flicks and tricks and everything that. Cephas not on tricks, man. Cephas need some tricks to go in the bag. You step over right and go left. Some step over or something. Or you look up in the ear and look away or something. No. Cephas have none anything then. Just speed. And the speed work. He needs some more in them repertoire. He needs some more skills in them repertoire to bamboozle people. You see Cephas salad somebody or do a 1-2 thing. This 1-2. Do nothing. Just Cephas. You need to learn some of them skills, Cephas. Then you'll be unplayable, frankly, with that speed. I'm not going to say people IQ. I'm going to talk about people IQ. Omar, so I'm going to put it up. I know why Duckland. I know why I talk about. Hey, Duckland, I know why I talk about Duckland. No, he need trick. No. No, BM. Everybody need tricks, BM. Everybody need tricks. That's why against some teams, he is not effective. Everybody need tricks. Against some teams, he's not effective. He played against Dominica and he wasn't effective because they told their defenders, as he picked it up, start running before he starts running. You need tricks. You need tricks. So anyway, so the Liverpool-Chelsea game, Liverpool won. Jones scored that last goal, a really good goal. Brilliant pass by Salah. I thought Chelsea played well. Chelsea going to be a dangerous team. They have a lot of good players. I thought Lavia and Caicedo was very good in the first half. Lavia looked like he ran out of energy because he hasn't played a lot. James also. But think about their team. James, Lavia, Caicedo, Fernandez was on the bench. They got so many players. I think the coach messed up in that game. Two different situations. That's why I say in-game management is important, and these coaches don't impress me. So I'm going to say, Cranky, what do you know about these things? These are international coaches. Football is not a genius game. Trust me. Football is not like American football. You don't need a lot of thought in. Football is over. There's that overreach in football to make it look like it's so complex. It ain't that complex. In that game, Sancho should not play over Neto. And secondly, he put on Nkunku to go play left wing. You've seen Nkunku play? He's a 10 or a 9. He's not a winger. When he was at PSG, he was a midfielder. Then he went to Germany. He's not a winger. And he looked lost out there. He's very subtle in the box area and around the 18, where he can create something out of nothing, which is what he did in one of the games he played the other day and scored. So I'm not sure why he put him on the wing. Coaches just mesmerize me. You're right. Maybe I don't know anything about football, Edwards, because those decisions just weird. I like all Arteta's in-game decision. So Gaming said Keith as a game is a pace abuser, needing more skill to in-game when he fixing that. Yeah, exactly. No, he needs more skill. No. I think they can't, Ala Madrid, because they have given too many players long-term contract. Ain't nobody gonna buy no player when them have no 7-year contract. That's another thing they don't realize too. The contracts are too long. Palmer is 9 years. Mudryk, who they can't even get off their wages, got like 8 years. That's all good and smart to see you lock the player up so they can't go anywhere. What if they're no good and nobody want to buy them? And especially since they buy them at such high, they pay them so much money, like they pay the Sterlings of the world, it's hard to get rid of them. Cranky, me tell you, Chelsea, so daily them just need to fix certain things. Yeah, no, they have a good team. They have a good team. Very good team. They need better central defenders. They need better like our Arsenal, like us Liverpool has Canade and Van Dijk, and we have Saliba and Gabriel. You need that kind of centre-back pairing for Chelsea to be dominant. Because they were outpossessing Liverpool that game, and Liverpool's a good team. Ethan Pinnock is the best centre-back in the EPL. Is that a new league, Nitro? I don't know what you're talking about. Is that a new league, Nitro? Has Pinnock left the Premier League? I know. Did you miswrite EPL? Because I don't know what you're talking about. Nitro, I'm confused. Nitro. I'm confused. You didn't even say CONCACAF. You said the EPL with Van Dijk and Saliba and Gabriel and all these. I'm confused. But then again, I can't be surprised. Nitro, I'm not surprised. But let me go to my Knicks, and then I come to talk about Jamaica football. But somebody you just want to talk about. You want to talk about Knicks, you want to talk about EPL. So let me take down EPL. We'll talk some Jamaica football after I done talking about my Knicks. So I don't have any slides or anything for my Knicks. I'll just say this. It's not a long discussion. The NBA season getting ready to start. It's going to be an exciting season. By the way, because most of you probably don't realize this, I did a video about the Knicks and the NBA yesterday. It's only 28 minutes, so you can go watch it. I did spend a lot of time putting it together. I have a lot of pictures. I didn't only do this, what we're going to be doing this year. I did also indicate some history about the Knicks from 73 through the 80s and 90s, through 99, through the 2011 to now. So I suggest you go and watch it. It's a good watch, actually. Well, it's a good watch because I spent a lot of time doing it. So it's a good watch. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. It's a good watch. So you should go watch it. I may have had it on both channels, both Balance View and Cranky Live, actually. But I did spend a lot of time on it. So I wouldn't mind getting some views and some likes. I spent a lot of time putting that together. I'm calling early. The Knicks will not win the chip. We'll see, Ala Madrid. I think we have a good chance to win the chip. Since Patrick Ewing 98 team, I think we have a good chance. Just like Jamaica in 98, isn't it? No, it was 94 for Patrick Ewing when we had a chance to win against Houston. 99 when we went to play against San Antonio Spurs and we lost in 5 games. We lost in 7 games to Elijah One in Houston in 94 when John Stark shot 2 of 18. Go watch the tape, people. It's a good watch, trust me. It's a good watch. Go watch the tape. So let me go to Jamaica now since people don't want to talk about it. But by the way, I'm doing a watch along tomorrow night. Well, I may do a watch along tomorrow night. I was definite in that video, but I'm not sure yet. have some things that come up. But I may do a watch along of the Boston versus Knicks game. It's the first game of the season. Knicks have made a lot of trades. We now have a starting 5. I mean, Roberts come back. We'll have a very good 6 with some decent bench players between Brunson and Bridges and Towns and Hart and Anunoby. Really good. And then when Robertson comes back, it makes it even better. So I expect us to do really, really well. And I'll be doing a lot of Knicks games this season, trying to get some different fan base because some are not too fickle. Can't get them to increase the viewership. But there are enough Knicks fans out there. So, and I'm a Knicks follower since God knows when, long time ago. Russell is the GOAT when it comes to championship. He has 11, but he's not the GOAT when it comes to being player. He was a defensive player, shot blocker. He wasn't really a scorer. Chamberlain was a scorer at that point. So come watch me, come join me tomorrow, people. I think the game is at 7:30. I have to check the game time, actually. But I'll be doing a watch along. So I probably will not be doing a stream tomorrow. I'm gonna do that watch along for the next game. So now we're gonna talk Reggae Boys. But I found this funny. Listen to this. This was many of you guys may have seen this. Somebody sent me this today, actually. So I thought, why not share it? Let me guys know if you can hear this actually. If I can pull this up. It's a quick 20-second thing. And I'm sure I'm gonna get beaten on it. I don't really care. As you know, I don't care about these things. So tell me if you can hear this. No. I don't know why it's not playing. I gotta go back to it. Let me try to play it. And it's not coming up.
They booked my flight on the September. I've gone to the airport in September. My flight was booked for October.
No.
I had to pay for my own flight out.
No, don't do that. Don't do that, please. No.
Going to Jamaica. The very first time I turned up, I didn't have a flight. They booked my flight on the September. I've gone to the airport in September. My flight was booked for October.
No.
So did you guys hear that? Let me take it off. Somebody said that to me. I just thought I would share that actually. No, I think things have been. It was his first time, right? So, yeah, hey Tycoon, that might be the case. Liberty Championship win. No, we're glad that we have a championship in New York, but we want the Knicks one. We love the Liberty, but want the Knicks. That sounded like it was for him mistake. No, I think he's telling you that wasn't his mistake. They booked it the wrong time. He was supposed to go September. They booked it for October. That wasn't him. That was them. What do you think he's laughing about? What do you think he's laughing about it? That was them. He didn't say it was his mistake. He's just giving you an example of some of the things that you have to deal with Jamaica. I think things have gotten better. I think Manning's man now booked tickets on time. I don't hear anybody complain about tickets. So since Manning, we should give Manning's man and Simon their due. But Antonio realized he appreciates more afterwards. Yeah, it's funny now, but it probably wasn't funny then. Can you imagine go to the airport and realize that I don't have a ticket to go to play with Jamaica, and then got to spend your own money to buy a ticket? That's unprofessional. Stop. That's unprofessional. Come on. It's unprofessional. That's why players get frustrated. Because I did talk to I don't want to say which name player, but the player asked me, why are people not more professional? A player I talked to who was born overseas, they were asking me that question. I was like, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. They're challenged. But no money are rule nine of people, so we should have less of that. We should have less of that, people. Money are rule nine. When you have money, yeah. But since Simon and management have gone in, people, we haven't heard any of those situations. Now, I'll say this. I don't think it was just Dalton Wynn's fault for some of these things. Because here's what seemed to be the case, people. When you don't have money, you're looking to take all sort of shortcut. First of all, part of it is their fault because they're not the right people in the seat. Second of all, when you don't have money, you take all sort of shortcuts to get things done. You book three and four. I said three, boy, I'm going to tell you. You book 3 and 4 flights for one journey because you try to get the cheapest fare. But no, you can't do private jet because money are rule. No, poor Ross, of course, he loved Jamaica. He's not trying to bash Jamaica. I just thought that piece was funny, actually. Somebody sent it to me anyway. I didn't see the whole interview. They sent it to me today. So, yeah, no, part of it is the competence of the people involved, but money's a big factor. I can tell you this because I know personally that Trinidad is struggling because Trinidad don't have no money. And I'm telling you, players don't get paid on time. They're struggling. So you don't hear players complain about money. You don't hear complain about travel. You don't complain about facilities. Well, we heard one player complain a year ago, but this player complained because, whatever reason. I don't hear their players complaining. Locally born players and overseas players. All right, Nitro. All right. So anyway, let's jump. I thought it was a funny video. So let's jump on to what I want to talk about concerning the players. Certain players. So for Jamaica, obviously the weekend wasn't. I didn't go through look at all the players. I did watch Bailey play for Aston Villa. Enough said. I watched Pinnock play for Brentford, score a brilliant goal, played well. And he does most time. Okay, we'll do. But see, Antonio grew up on Jamaican food, Triple E. Not Antonio, a real Jamaican. The man go Jamaica almost every summer when he was a youngster. Kind of parents them link up with the island, and they probably have money too, because most people in England or Jamaican can't afford to go to Jamaica if you don't vacation. I don't know how to do. Can't afford it when they're young. Not happening. So yeah. All I said, remember Tyreek McGee when he was supposed to go to Japan, only found him back. I remember that whole scenario with Tyreek McGee. Yes. Then probably find him at airport last. Try to find him again. The field make Bailey not playing good cranky. Yeah, no, the field too good. But anyway. But anyway, the field too good, big deal. But anyway, I'll say this, which is no, it's people don't understand. A big Triple E. So Triple E. For those people who are in the States who live like in certain areas of Brooklyn, for example, or certain areas of Florida, or even some place like Stolment and Georgia, you can go to these neighborhoods. Everything about your Jamaican food, Jamaican language, Jamaican party. And England worse. Got enough country people go to England. And then more Jamaican than anybody else. The country people don't go to England. Go do after Windrush generation and after World War II. Pure country people. Enough country people go. So them are Rob and Jamaican even more so than some of the people who come from what I call Tone. So yeah, no. They if you go someplace in England, like I'm going to Wolverhampton and visit my cousins, I don't think I've seen that much West Indian food in any place anywhere, frankly. Jamaican food, I should say, in terms of, dasheen, banana, yeah, the whole works. The whole works, people. The whole works. And there are a lot of, trust me, they carry their culture with them. So yeah, they carry the culture with them. But in terms of the players, I want to talk about the players. So in terms of Isaac Hayden, people hit the like button. In terms of Isaac Hayden, I'm not talking about the players until the likes go up to 100. Me hold up on. I'm not talking about the players until likes go up to 100. With a 74, with a 134, 71, and let's get to 100, I'm not talking about no players. We just talk other stuff. You don't know me work already. I'm not talking about no players, because I have information on all 3 players that I mentioned. So I'm not talking about Hayden, I'm not talking about Greenwood, and I'm not talking about Louis Baker until I say the likes get up to 100. And people go watch my Boston thing. Boston, New York thing. The likes, now moving on 72. Like I say, I'm not talking about it. We can finish the stream. We ain't talking about none of that. What look on this picture? Oh, my son just sent me, just pick up him car. Okay, good. London been working on him car 2 months, Right. 2 months. You might as well just buy another one. Meantime. So I can't get thrown. All right, people. We still talk about other things because in our 79 still need 21 to get to 100. We not talk about no player until we get to 100 likes. So we can talk about other things. Want to talk about the weather? Let's see what people have in the chat. And I just saying, I've never seen Jamaican graduate reggae music. I have witnessed that in the state to dance on it. Yeah. It's I mean, when I first came to this country, boy, I was struggling to find reggae music and find all sort of stuff. No, it's pervasive. It's pervasive, people. It's everywhere and anywhere. We're up to 84. We still have another 16 to get to the 100. 134 people, 16 now, killing them. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, no, drop it in the like. That's how we do it on this channel, people. Until we get the support from the audience, we struggle with talking about certain topics. Like how they do in traditional media. That's my Cranky Live channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'm gonna drop my Balance View channel too. And as I said before, I'm gonna talk about enough good things from Balance View. I'm gonna start it back up, but it's been a little bit of a struggle, given how busy I am. We're at 89. We still need 11 people before we start talking about the player. Then we still need 11. I dropped both the Balance View and the Cranky Live. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Come, people, hit the like button. Hit the like button. We can't go no further. We have 140 people in the chat, 89 likes. We can't go any further. That means 50, and more than that anyway. At least 51 people have hit the like button, and it's more than that because people come and go all the time. That's how these channels work. So I went to OSU in the shop for regular shop. Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example, Nitro. I went to Japan, and when I used to travel, when was this? It's got to be about 2011. Yeah, it's a while ago. I used to go to Japan because I have a team over there. I used to go to Japan like once a year, right? And the bad thing about me flying that far is because I don't sleep on flights because I hate flying. So I would fly to Hong Kong first, then go over to Japan or vice versa. And it's about another 3-4 hour flight from Hong Kong to Japan. I would fly. One year I flew on Japan Airlines in the middle seat, people. Even though it was business class, it was uncomfortable because they made them small things with small Japanese people. 16 hours straight, didn't sleep a wink. I struggle, people. I struggle. And then when I get there, when it comes to Wednesday, so I used to fly Saturday night, Sunday morning, get there Monday morning or Sunday afternoon in Hong Kong, downtown Hong Kong, full of Filipino people. Because in Hong Kong, all these Filipino ladies come over to do like housekeeping work for the very rich Hong Kongese, I call them. And on Sundays, they gather in like a mall area. People, your eyes anywhere you can see, like a sea, like crazy sea of people just line up. All the women line up out there. But anyway, so I would go to Japan. And while in Japan, I'll be searching for reggae food. I'll be going online searching for reggae food. And I actually found 3 reggae restaurants in Japan over a period of time. One was in the middle of Tokyo, where it seemed like nobody speak English. The guy, and one was a Jamaican lady I met, and there was another one. The Jamaican lady told me that she'd been there for a while. She speaks the language. She's an older lady. The Japanese man I met who had a restaurant, he said he went to Trenchtown to learn to cook Jamaican. So it was interesting, actually, being there. But I always go, when I used to go to London, I go to look for Jamaican food everywhere. I would take the train for an hour. Nowadays I'm a little bit different. But then I was too Jamaican for my own good. I wouldn't even eat other food. I would just be like, I'm not eating. And then I had relatives in London sometimes who would just cook for me. So I go on business trip, I'll just go to their house to eat. Because I don't like to eat the other kind of food. But anyway, people, we're at 93. We still need 7 to get to 100. I'm not going to talk about the players until I get to 100 now. So. Bless up Chorus, thanks to Jordan. Bless up Conrad. People, we're at 93. We still need 7 people. We're not talking the place to reach 100. We still need 7 people. We still need 7. So don't expect me to talk about the players until we get to the 100. This is not, I'm not joking about that, people, right? We ain't talking about no players until we get to 100. And I'm going to do the players in sequence of, no definite sequence. I'm just going to do them straight. We'll get to 100 eventually. We probably have to wait another 15, 20 minutes to get to the 100. But that's okay. We got time. My show is supposed to be 2 hours in the people. Then I go watch the Baltimore Ravens play this evening on ESPN. So it's up to you guys if you want to hit the like button or not. But reggae restaurants are all over the place, people. All over the place. You go to different countries, you'd be surprised where you find them. 95, we have 5 more to the 100, people. And your finger's not going to hurt you if you press it. It's not going to hurt you. Just press the like button. Well, you know what I believe, Triple E? This is going to sound contradictory. I think we're a very aggressive people, no nonsense people, don't take no for an answer, go-getters. So I think when you have some of those attributes, which are good, and they help you be successful, they also can go over the extreme edge, right? Which then can make you not necessarily there's a balance to everything in life. I think there's moderation to everything in life, and we can be extreme in how we operate and how we think and how we live, and so some of the times it turns into being negative versus that being on the edge. It becomes very, very negative. So yeah, we can be toxic, but also our aggressiveness and our all win attitude. We have to win. We think we're the best. We don't suffer from that. Well, except for the people that move bleach. We don't suffer from the inferiority complex. Especially the people that move bleach are the one who talk about, say, your skin's so dark. And they talk about General Bloomfield. A lot of Jamaicans don't suffer from that. I think that inferiority complex, or that complex which says I can't be successful. Yes, Ernest, you can. No, if you do that, it's not subscription, Ernest. It's likes. It's likes. Hit the like button against you. Hit the like button against you. Try and Lone Wolf. Try, but some people appreciate it and say we're negative. No, I'm not talking about anybody specifically. Okay, so we had to reach 100. So let me talk about the players then, because me keep my word most time, people. So I'm gonna say this about Lewis Baker. I'm doing them easier. About Lewis Baker. Lewis Baker will not be playing for Jamaica anytime soon, even if he wants to. Let me just say that again. Lewis Baker, given the situation, I'll be shocked if he played for Jamaica. Now it's so there's degrees, right? There is probable, there's likely, which are very similar. There is possible, and there is no way, Jose. I am between possible and no way, Jose. Not probable, not likely, more like unlikely. And if it happen, it ain't gonna be no time soon. Ask Lewis Baker. So all of you out there talking about Lewis Baker and Lewis Baker, this and that, I would suggest you put that on pause because it ain't happening. Right? So we're not spending our time on Lewis Baker. It ain't happening. And for those of you who are other channels, coming to call out YouTubers who say, oh, Cranky have him source and Cranky source better than anybody else. The only difference between me and you and some of you guys and Cranky is this. First of all, I try to make sure I get it from really good source. And then I try to use logic in that whole equation. Because sometimes you may have great source, but they could be mistaken. But I try to make sure my source are credible. And then I find out from my source where they get the information from. Because if it ain't authentic and credible, I like to have, as a past auditor, empirical evidence substantiate my conclusion for anything that I do. So therefore, I ain't gonna come tell you something unless I'm very confident about my source. Let me repeat, Lewis Baker ain't happening no time soon. Yeah, it's not about his abilities, BM. I'm just saying, even if he wants to play, ain't happening anytime soon. And if it happens in the next 6 months, I'll be very surprised. And not because the player doesn't want to play for Jamaica. I'm sure he wants to. I'm sure he desires to, but it ain't happening. So let's go to documents problem. That's a problem. Yes, not happen, big deal. Not happen. So let's go to hey people, those of you who didn't hit the like button yet, you can still hit it now. 136 and 105. You can still hit it. Okay, when you hit the like button, other people watch the channel. That's the whole objective of me pressuring you to hit the like button. So if we think about Isaac Hayden, so enough time I come on this channel and talk about the JFF, and then some people in JFF say I'm toxic and I'm negative and all this. But I'll say this actually, which is, let me drink some water first, people. Let me drink some water first, people. I'll say it. JFF, how do I put this? You need to have more influence and you need to do a better job. Years ago, I've said this, that the JFF need what I call a recruiting department. No, we're not drink nitro. We're not drink liquor nitro. That's why me always can't talk lucid in the nitro. Not like lucid motor cars or lucid car. I'm going to get one of those lucids. But like clear-headed. It's too late now, Hala Madrid, because everybody knows my English vehicle. But anyway, yeah, if he could do that, maybe that would work. So let me just say this. I said that years ago that JFF should have a recruiting department and staff it with a few people, or designate some people who have been recruiting, because most players who come to play for Jamaica, they're not recruited by the JFF. They are private citizens, like Devon Porter, who gets no credit, I've said this before, who spend days and nights and time building a relationship with players and try to convince them to come play for the island. It had nothing to do with the JFF. Most of those, and even when they go through the process trying to get their papers, has nothing to do with the JFF, which is disappointing. Right? Which is disappointing. So the way I see this is this, JFF, because I know you guys think I beat you, and I have no, look, if you do well, you get credit. If you don't do well, I'm going to call you out. You got to have a recruiting department, because not every player who wants to play for Jamaica should play for Jamaica. Not every player who wants to play for Jamaica should play for Jamaica, because some may not be good enough. Not because they're playing some, and the coach may not want some of them. No matter where they're born, some may not be good enough, they shouldn't play. So if you play for Charlton, well, let me not call it Charlton. If you play for Plymouth, if you play for, I want to call Premier League team because people are going to say, wait, talking about Cranky. If you play for Petersburg and you want to play for Jamaica, we should say, do you have enough ability to play? Otherwise, why would we take you? We didn't take it. This is not a free-for-all team where because you can play some football, you play in England, you can play for Jamaica. That's not how it's supposed to work. So you need a recruiting department with people who are scouts who know football, who can then go source the players. Because this coach, you know why you might have to say, but no, nothing, but no. Or if you're born in England, you should have a right to play for England. We know why you have to say. We don't want to say go away, I don't want to disrespect you, but stop. We don't want to hear you. What we want is for us to bring you the player, and then you and your staff decide whether this player is good enough to play for you. They should have a recruiting department that does this, that's built, that has relationship with people in the States, the key places, Canada, US, and England, but then can have somebody who does all the other regions. Jamaicans are all over the place. Who may have players want to play for Jamaica. And I know they have their quota system, which we can't, because we can't affect what the JFF does. They're a monopoly. So they're not monopoly because they're not oligopoly. They're one organization. They're monopoly on Jamaica football. They control it. We can't do nothing. So we can run our mouths all we want. But every good organization takes suggestion and effectuate those suggestions. Because that's why Amazon, I keep saying this, want everybody to give them a comment, and they use those comments to help them bring better products to the table and address some things they may not be doing well. If you don't get feedback, how are you going to know? They need a recruiting department, and they not a recruiting department. They need, which is what Jamaica needs. For people who want to become Jamaican citizens and of certain special skill sets, they should be afforded an expedited process, or one or two people in PICA who are designated to work with them to expedite this and get it done quickly. It's not just about footballers. You could be a track athlete. You could be an engineer. You could be a doctor. There should be a VIP route. You know, like you go on plane and you fly in first class or business class, especially in Asia, they have two different lines. In the US, they probably have one line, but what they do in the US is the first class go first, at least locally. When you're in Asia, they have two separate distinct lines. You go to the Middle East, two separate distinct lines. First class go, yes, sir. I go, sir. I saw it figure out with the passport situation. Because here's the problem, people. Especially for people who are going to use grandparents as the way to get their citizenship, if they're Jamaican heritage. Like when I went through my citizenship, I actually was concerned because I didn't have my dad information because both my mom and my dad died. But I asked my brother, you have my dad information? No. But one of my brothers had my mom information, my birth certificate, which I didn't know he had. Because he didn't have it. I would go file to registrar to get it. But luckily, my stuff lined up. The last name and my mom's last name, she's on my birth certificate. It all lined up. Breeze. And I went to the regular process from the States. I didn't go to PICA in Jamaica. I went through quickly. If you have a situation where somebody went to England under assumed name and then they don't use their right name, or in the old days, the last name went on the birth certificate, so it's only the first name they use and use the mom's name, it becomes difficult if they go to the dad's side to get the kid when you're not on the name is not on the birth certificate. It becomes very difficult, right? And that's what we're facing with a lot of kids. Recruitment should be going on. Thing always heard. No, they don't. There are different reasons why they don't do it, but they don't. Either they don't have the know-how or just they don't. They're awful when it comes to that. Yeah, but I think when Holgate, you know Holgate and Isaac Papers went in after my understanding went in after Greenwood is my understanding actually. At least I know Hayden's did. But the thing is that Hayden's father is Jamaican, born in Jamaica. So if he's on his father's birth, if his father's on his birth certificate, and he has fought the citizenship, it's a breeze, right? Hayden took no time. So let's go through them. So Baker will not play. But I think the recruiting process is not good. And I also think the process through Pika is doing their job, what they should be doing, but there has to be a way in which we get this to be done better. Let's go to Isaac Hayden. Let me take some of his comments first. Let me go to Isaac Hayden. Crank it. Didn't you develop a good relationship with some folks within the JFF? I recall some discussion we did one. Yeah, we did, but the problem I have, Triple E, is that I get beaten for this, right? Because I heard people like Chris Smith would call me out, say I don't criticize Lowe anymore and all that, which I've always said Lowe can play football. Then like can get someone's yellow. But if I say he should be in the team, then people say you're being hypocritical because he shouldn't be in the team. That's their view. That's not my view. So we have different views. And if you look at Lowe's play the last number of games, you can see why he should be in the team, right? But people have a different view. With the JFF, yes, I had a relationship with some members in JFF. Look, I have nothing against JFF people. I've met Speed, which is interesting. I've met in person. I have met the president, Ricketts. I've met Chung, and I've met some of the people in the JFF. Good people, nice people, easy to talk to. I like Ricketts a lot, by the way. I think he's a stately person. I don't find his leadership style favorable. I think sometimes you have to put your foot down. I think sometimes you have to make tough decisions. And I think he remind me when I said this before. He remind me when the president for one of the companies I work with doesn't like controversy, doesn't like confrontation, and so therefore sort of stay away from those things. And I believe leaders sometimes have to make tough stands. Like for example, if Ricketts and Speed were combined, they'd be great for the JFF. One have too much masculinity, and one is like a grandfather, just want things to just work perfectly, and that's not the real world. That's not the real world. So I met Ricketts, a great person to engage with. Engaged me when I met him. I met Chung. He's Chung. I met some other people, and I didn't meet Speed, but Speed was the first interview I have on YouTube, by the way, which I did appreciate. The first person I interviewed on Speed. And I tried to interview him not from the context of the JFF, just as a person to show people that, you know what, man has some attributes you should consider, and why does he operate the way he does, which I think came across in that interview. But the problem you have is when you're in the seat that I'm in, and you don't see things going right, you have to call it out. And when you do, people say you're toxic and you're critical and you're XYZ, right? So that's why you'll see the relationship gets frayed, because I'm going to call out what I see. And I'm not going to say I'm not a hypocrite in some respects, because I think every person on this planet has some hypocrisy in them. But there's degrees of hypocrisy, right? People got to understand that. I think every person we have in the society that we live in have some hypocrisy in them. But there's degrees of hypocrisy. And I try to make sure mine don't cross a certain line. I try to manage my hypocrisy as much as I can, because I think we all have hypocrisy, right? Especially when it comes to people who are familiar with us. We give them more allowance than we give other people. So do as I do, don't do as I say sometimes, right? Which is not good. But I try to manage that significantly. No, I didn't say that, Lone Wolf. I never said that. You go listen to what I said. I knew what I was saying, right? I knew what I was saying. I didn't say one didn't have any. I said one is like a grandfather who want everything to work well, and sometimes that's not life. All right? Sometimes that's not life. Life doesn't work like that. Sometimes life is going to be tough. You got to make tough decisions. I'm going to give you an example of tough decision. Well, I won't say it's a tough decision. So I'm going to get beaten for this. I'm going to say it anyway, because people may be listening who are engaged with me. I was on a call the other day. I think I've said this before, with some people from my club. I really don't care. You know, I say these things and people know I don't. I'm gonna say what I on my mind. And one person, you know, so we have a call with the executives from my club, right? And there's one person there who I know can sell a ton of tickets, have a lot of contacts, but she always have an excuse as to why she can't, as to what she's doing. She's always busy. And I lost my mind. I was like, you know what? This XYZ is crap. You don't do XYZ, right? You come on here and you come with all these damn excuses. But I seen that people, when they're doing things for themselves, sell a ton of tickets, and they're not selling one for us. And they're part of the executive body. I'm like, you know what? This is crap. This doesn't work. I'm not having that. Now, my president would never do that. That's not in his disposition. He's the nicest person in the world. He's Remy Ricketts in some of his place. He wants everything to work perfectly. And he may be listening to this program, so I'm going to get beaten, but he's the nicest person ever. The person you want to engage with. I'm somebody you don't want to engage with sometimes. I'm going to tell you, you know what? This doesn't work for me. I'm not having it. Done. That's speed a lot of times. That's speed most of the time. No, not at all. She's not like that, actually. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she was making excuses for not making the effort, and she'd been doing it for years. And I got fed up and saying, you know what? I'm off this call. I'm giving up this group. This is nonsense. I'm not having that. My president would be different because he's just the nicest person ever. Always there are people in life don't like confrontation. They want the work to be perfect. It's not a perfect world. And there are people like me sometimes, and like Speed, who you say, you know what? Go overboard sometime with this. Because I believe in having harmony and amicable situation. But I think that sometimes you just got to blow it up. You got to throw a grenade in the room and say, you know what? Just blow this crap up. I have that feeling sometimes. And I've done it a few times. I try not to do it because I'm always want to have compromise. But sometimes you just have to say, you know what? This ain't working. Let's blow it up. To me, that's Ricketts and Speed. Speed would just blow it up, and Ricketts just wanted to work. So work around. At some point, you got to cut it off. Mr. Ricketts is a nasty player. Give him some credit for getting rid of $2 million debt and get the JFF in the block. Henry, you guys don't aim Henry. Why are we going to defensive right away? I'm not blaming. I just said the JFF have money. I've said this. I have the one who said over the years I've been saying they should get credit. Everyone says it's done despite them. So when you guys got to go back and look at my videos, because I think people just have this view that Cranky's so negative about the JFF. You got to be negative about them sometimes, but you guys don't give me credit for giving them credit. Well, no, when I give them credit, I get beaten. And when I don't give them credit, I get beaten, so I can't win. So I'm fine. Cranky, no, you're not married. You cannot be. No, I'm not married. I was. I gave it up. But no, I believe in compromise, but it's compromise to a point. And Henry, nobody said the JFF hasn't done something right. I'm the one to give them. Henry, go watch my videos before. You're on this channel sometimes. I say you cannot say they didn't go to the Copa, semifinal of Gold Cup, 2 World Cup. I don't say that, you know what? They shouldn't get credit. I'm the one who said they should get credit. Jeez. Cranky, why not Louis Baker? There's no Louis Baker. He will not be joining us. Not because he doesn't want to, but there's a process to get there, right, Dre? And if you don't have the right stuff, you can't get there. That's all I got to say. Let's go to Isaac. Isaac should be here, if everything works out right, in November window. So I heard a lot of people talking about Isaac is a England reject and Isaac not playing football and Isaac this and Isaac that. And their YouTubers were saying this too. And I had to text a YouTuber yesterday to express my dismay at some of the things that he's saying and some of the thumbnail that he has, because I don't talk about YouTubers on YouTube, but I thought what he was doing was just not okay. And I called him out. I said, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to do this. It's ridiculous you're doing this. You should stop doing it. Right? So let me just say this about Isaac Hayden. I could say certain things about that whole process, him going to Jamaica, but I won't. I'll just say this. JFF, you guys got to do better when it comes to certain things. That's all I'll say. You got to do better. Secondly, I love certain private citizens. And it's not just the JFF in totality, because I think Manningsman and Simon, I'm going to carve them out and says, I think they have done a brilliant job with the JFF since they've joined them. And I think the JFF have done well in certain areas and are trying to do well in certain areas as it comes to, even for the youth team, even though they have their quotas and I disagree with them, I think they're trying to help the kids get better, trying to improve the coaching, trying to improve the players, trying to improve the environment. But I think they can do better in a number of different areas. And by the way, I know some people would say this, oh, Cranky, you're jealous of this because you can't get a job with the JFF. I'll say 2 things about that. One is, I said 2 things about it. One is, I ain't working for nobody in this life anymore. That's the first thing I say. Me now work for nobody. If I do any work, it's going to be a consultant. I mean, me now work for you. I can leave when I want, work by my own time. But now work for nobody. And even consulting, I don't think I'm going to be doing. Second of all, JFF can't pay me. I'm in a rich, me far from rich, can't pay me. I then showed the thing the other day, because JFF pay the foreign coach, them, Uno Jamaicans, big money, and then pay people like Tapa look like nothing. So they can't pay me. Because they want to say me a Jamaican, and I want people looking like nothing, that ain't gonna work. So I have no justice towards the JFF, no justice towards anybody. I'm very comfortable how I live. So don't go down that route there, because we're not going down that route anymore. I know TikTok and football guru, football, no, disrespect him. Whatever football I'm saying is, used to make these kind of comments. That's not even part of my how I operate my life, people. I don't live that way. I'm a call good when I see good. I'm a call bad when I see bad. So we got to do better when it comes to how we bring players on board. You hear what Antonio says, and that was a while ago. I'm gonna say that is a while ago, and as related to the current set of players. I would love each of the players when they get recruited to express how they get recruited. I would love for that to happen. No. Look, I've said this, A.M. Henry. People don't realize this. When you don't have money, you can look really, really bad. When you have money, things can look rosy because you can buy away your problems sometimes. And I keep telling people, go look at Trinidad and what's happening at Trinidad. That was where Jamaica was a year ago, or a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Right? So, yeah. I think speed says is play. I don't know what that means by speed, because I can challenge that notion. So what speed do with the money when him sell player? When do with the money? Or I'm just put the knife in them pocket and then spend it back on another player. You never spend the money on player, because speed I get peer 15-year-old come play for him, but he might win with them. So when people say speed is not a good coach and them a better coach than speed, but speed keep winning the competition, I've been the top of the competition with kids on a continual basis. So how can he not be good? Right? How can he not be good? How can he not be good? Yeah, I know, Winston, and that's not good. Yeah, Devon, you have to listen to everybody in Devon. Everybody have a voice, and them voice resonate. In fact, some of them voice get more listened to anybody else. Some people who just have background noise, them get the most views and the most likes and the most listeners. Because people like the mix up. You know, like mix up. Just like talk good things. Speed's bad because you learn from the pros overseas approach to football. Yeah, look, Rudolph is smart. That's not disputable. Rudolph is smart. But Rudolph can also be thin-skinned. Hey, Rudolph, if you're listening, you're thin-skinned. Look at what you want to say. You're thin-skinned, Rudolph. You can't take the criticism. And when we call out certain things, like when I call out that Reed, how come Reed is in the team? Rudolph would probably get upset, right? And I'm like, I don't see why he's in the team. If you can call Rudolph, then call Welsh, who played for Leyton Orient and was better than him in the under 20. Don't do that. He's not ready for the national team. Kid may be a good player. He's not ready for the national team. So I'm going to call it out. And some people don't like it. When I call out the coach, by the way, this is a weekly question I'm going to ask people. I'm going to get beaten on this. I don't know. I'm not Martin, right? I don't care. This is the thing I'm going to call out. People. We are 23 minutes after 7. And now I hit the like button. Because people are come on going on. Now I hit the like button. I 1:17 and now I hit the like button. Let me just say this. This is a weekly question on my car. Every Monday I'm asking this question if I come on every Monday. So it is October 18th. No, October 21st. See, I'm dating myself. So tomorrow, the 22nd, a few hours from now, what would the coach be doing? What does the coach do when he's not in Jamaica? What does the coach... I'm going to ask the question every Monday until somebody tell me what he does. What does Steve McLaren... What does he do when he's not in Jamaica? Because I don't hear Steve McLaren going to any game to watch any player. Even I go Kings to watch player. Why am I do? Why not to Jamaica? Me don't know why am I do. Me not stop asking questions, people. Me not stop keeping it alive. You guys say me negative and critical. If you at work, you have to work for your money. You hear me? Work for your money. So me ask a question every Monday. What is Steve McLaren doing when he's not in Jamaica? Me not make nobody use me. Me I call them out. Me not make nobody use my country. When I don't name them use the country, me not them use the country. Love Jamaica too much. You know me to live there no more. I'm afraid to go to people that want me say if they come back here, we'll do something. But anyway, I want me say no, I criticize certain people cranky. But me not care. Must swipe on my mind. Because America partially free. America not fully free now. Like America fully free. You can't say certain things. Same thing Pochettino does. I'm not the America citizen. I'm American citizen, but I'm following America team chorus. I'm not sure they do the same thing. I'm sure Pochettino is in the States too. As soon as the window done, McLaren disappear. We don't see him again to the next window. McLaren, why are though? We don't know what Pochettino's situation is, chorus. I'm gonna follow Pochettino. I'm gonna care what I want to, but I'm sure he's gonna say he's following players, and I'm sure. And by the way, chorus, here's the difference between Pochettino and our coach. If you don't want to know this, so I get my temperature to go up a little bit, which is good. I'm drink some more water. Come here, talk this chorus. Chorus, you don't start me up. Why I tell you, start me up. So chorus. When Pochettino, I played that the other day, chorus. Went for the US interview. He had a dossier. He had a big compendium folder with all the players and all the information of the players. What them do, what them not do, how them do, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. Our coach sees saying, I don't know the players. I was sleeping. I don't know the players. I just joined. Oh, you know what? Jamaica has great talent. I work with Rudolph. I don't know the players. I watched Jamaica play. I don't know the players. I've watched this play. Oh, yeah. Meron told me. People, well, not, you know, man, I want to deal with the star. We not work for your paycheck. If you get paid $500,000, what if you get paid? Work for your paycheck. No, what you do? Your job is not a window. I don't care if your job is to get to the World Cup. It's not. So part of your job is to know all the players. Don't come back next window, but you don't know no player. Don't come back to Jamaica next window and say you don't know the players. You've had about 3 months now. You should have known the players before you took the job. Because if you don't know the player, why you took the job? You got to know the players to know what you're getting involved in. If you go to a company and you do your research on a company, why are you taking a job with them? You're being negligent. Negligent. Because you know anything for you. Jamaica love to behave like they're the baddest people in the world. Anything? Well, no, so nobody can do nothing to BM. Like I tell. Like I tell BM. If we can do something. I see him. So Omar Tracy that about say, Oral Tracy that about say, Bloomfield for come at Jamaica. Bloomfield come at Jamaica and give me a second before the game. Bloomfield come at Jamaica and nobody do or nothing. But they must say she come at night time and sneak in and sneak out. Biggest contradiction. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, can you guys hear this people? Because you sound low. Wait 1 second. Hello?
Sound low?
Oh, you better know. Yeah, go ahead. By the way, I haven't talked about Greenwood yet enough people. I'm gonna talk about Greenwood at the 7:30 mark. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not gonna hold you up long. I just wanna I don't know why you're trying to mislead the people. If you're retired and you get bored and you want some work to do, I have a position for you on the board of directors or something like that.
What's the compensation? Wait. Back up. What's the compensation? Yeah. Let's talk money. What's the compensation?
Well, we will discuss that. You will be compensated.
No, I want to know. No. I don't hide anything. I'm transparent. Don't you hear me talk about speed about transparency? So what money? What money we talking about? What money we talking about?
Yeah, but this is it would be better if you go and work in the Caribbean. So because you get accused of looking for work, every time. So I just want to say that if you need something to do, talk to me.
Well, I can go to one. Well, if I'm going to take a job in the Caribbean, I want to work for one of the hotels. I want to be a greeter. One of the hotels. I want to be a greeter. Yeah. But I'm only greeting the opposite sex. I don't want to greet
because I don't know why anytime anybody discuss anything about what's going on in our countries, in our region, that somehow you're looking for work. I don't understand.
I don't understand either. Like I can't ask for a job.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I'm not looking for a job, people. Even though I will say this, I find let me say this. I
Look,
find
big deal. Hold on, Jackie.
Eh?
Big deal. Want to know if there's a TNT show?
You see how they are? They're myopic in their view. You can't bring up no other country, then take it personal, don't it?
Yeah.
They take it personal. They can't bring no other country. They can't bring no other country.
No big deal. There's a Caribbean show. That focuses on Jamaica issues.
Wait, so wait, the coach is hired to get to the World Cup. He has a contract, not a W-2 job. They had his plans, putting together his team of coach and players, planning strategies, paid by his results. Aaron, you're confused. Man has a job. He's the coach from then till now. He's 24/7 on the job. Coaches don't have defined time. His job is not to come from a window, say he doesn't know the players, pick Miran's team, and then go back to England and go sleep. I go to Ibiza. I go to Morocco on vacation. I go to Barcelona. No, that's not his job. Sorry.
Cranky, some of these discussions are best explained in different forums. I'm going to send you a link. I think I might have sent you something last night. You told me about Coates. Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yes, Ta-Nehisi Coates. Oh, Ta-Nehisi Coates. Oh, yes.
And I've been studying him.
Yeah.
I've been studying him recently, and he's a very brilliant individual, as you know. But he did an interview the other day with the boy from South Africa.
Yes, the one was on yes, I know you're talking about. Was on EPL. Trevor Noah. Yes.
He did an interview with Trevor Noah and a young lady, and she was extremely brilliant. And she did, in a moment in that show, explain what is happening to us in the region. I think that's an interview that you would enjoy.
Okay.
I'll send.
No, yeah. I would love it. Yeah.
It explains why someone would think, because you talk about what's going on in the region, that you are looking for work, that you just because you believe, if you do believe, if someone does believe they have something to offer, they're looking for work, that things might be bad, and it's a mindset that I just wish didn't exist, you know.
Well, the only job I want actually in the Caribbean is to be Prime Minister of Jamaica for a day.
For a day?
Yeah, one day. After that day, they'll get rid of me. After that day,
look,
my first thing is going to be my first thing going to be, we cannot have a country where only, my understanding is, don't quote me on this, one politician has been convicted over the last 30-something years for illicit enrichment. That cannot be right. Because when I look around the US, it happens on a regular basis, and people here make more money than those people in Jamaica do. So that don't make no sense to me. Conceptually, it makes no sense. So I would only need it for a day, and then they would probably get rid of me. But I would make a lot of decisions in that one day.
They get
rid of me in different ways. They get rid of me. They get rid of me. Yeah.
Look, I talk to coaches in the region, and one of the things that keep coming up is the number of months that they haven't been paid and that kind of stuff. And right. And whether or not I don't even know how to process that, but I know that you would know that too. You lived here and you work here for a long time, and you've never had that issue, right? So
well, if you don't pay me, I'm not working.
Right, and that's the thing. That's the thing, and so for me, I think the people that draw that conclusion because you have a discussion about what's going on in the region it's I wish they would not do that, because it doesn't make sense. Because why would you leave your environment to go and function under those conditions?
Right. Yeah.
You know. It just.
So, I'm Lone Wolf. So you should drop the link for the video in the chat because he wants to watch it.
Who's that?
You know what? You should do that. Lone Wolf. Somebody in the chat. So you should drop the link in the chat so we can watch it. I didn't watch the video, but I know that the interview took place, and I should have watched it. Because Ta-Nehisi Coates is a brilliant
yeah,
mind. He's a brilliant mind. And by the way, who has a conscience and is not morally bankrupt. Look,
he put some things in perspective, and I think the three of them on together, right? Because Trevor being out of South Africa, one of the most brilliant things that they did in that discussion is to juxtapose what is happening right now in the Middle East with what has happened here, Look, I don't know if you. I know you listened to his first interview. His first interview that he did, and I know this is a sports show, but the first is it NBC that he did? And I don't know if you really listened to the very first question that they asked him.
Oh no, the first question was, "We going to war?"
No, the guy said.
Oh no, the guy. No, the black guy. What's his name? The one who play football. He actually knocked his question, which is yes. I remember. Yeah, go ahead. But I remember.
You remember the way he had it at NBC, where the guy said to him, if he took his book and he removed all of his accolades and his reputation and he removed
that wasn't the first question. That was the second question.
Yeah,
then the black guy asked the question first. Then black guy asked the question first. Then he asked the second question.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
He said if you remove all of that.
Yes.
And he said this is a book that you can probably find in the backpack of an extremist. He said
was it extremist or was it a terrorist extremist?
He said extremist. He said extremist. I think that's the word he used, right? Okay. So if you remove the publisher, which is the institution, right, that gave him permission to write. Yes. Reputation. If you remove everything about him, he said this is you can find and you put this in the back. You can find this in the backpack of an extremist. And I thought that was, that's an amazing discussion.
No, because the person who asked the question had his ex-wife and kids live in Israel. So he wasn't objective in asking the question. And in fact, my understanding, that's not what they talk about in the background when they're going to do this interview. He ambushed him. He was trying to get him, and CBS, there was a big issue in the behind the scenes at CBS because they had a conference call subsequently, is my understanding, and there was a lot of pushback on how the interview was conducted, and it was inappropriate. Right. Now, the legal person there said it was okay, but most people weren't comfortable with the interview because you don't interview guests like that, right? He came at him because he took it personal.
And just for I know somebody's asking to share, I'm going to share it in a moment. That's two different conversations. That particular question was not in this interview.
Right.
It was in another interview.
Well, there's nothing like having controversy when you try to promote your book in your first interview.
Yeah.
So it worked out well for him.
Yeah. I just posted it. Okay. But I know it's 7:37. I know you got to talk about the
Yep, I'm gonna talk about that now.
The adopted way to call it again.
The adopted kids?
No. You said you have a name, but one of the players you referred to and you say he's the prodigal. So this is the
prodigal son. Is that a prodigal son?
This is
about the third one, isn't it? So anyway.
Yeah.
Tycoon. Thanks. Tycoon, we're talking about Ta-Nehisi Coates. People, let me just say this to some of you. You're gonna be mad at me saying this, but we gotta expand our mind, people. It's not just about Jamaican football. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a writer, a brilliant writer. He writes about a lot of things. And he wrote some book the other day about his visit to down south, Senegal, and to Gaza, what's happening in Gaza. And you can equate what's happening in Gaza with what's happening in South Africa and what in the US. That's all. So before the game, or Andre, as he's known, so you all know him, does do a lot of reading, and we talk about some of these things. And he says he's going to post it. So let me say this about Greenwood. Was I talking about Greenwood? I talk about the coach. Yeah. For those who think Cranky's been negative about the coach, I'm sorry. The Jamaica football need to improve. He worked with speed about the talent development program that FIFA has. He should be there in Jamaica, helping them effectuate it, put it in place, institute it, implement it. He should be there. I'm sorry. And if you guys don't like it, can't help you. Tough. The Jamaica football need to improve, and a lot of those players need help. And he's a coach who's been doing this for a while. And Speed said he didn't just want a manager, he wanted a coach. If the coach only a coach for 2 days out of each window, 3 times a year, now coach. You might observe. But anyway, let me keep going. So we're going to go to Greenwood. So I've been seeing a lot of communication, a lot of YouTube programs, a lot of communications around Greenwood. And I'm going to read what the Observer says. First of all, let me just say this. It's interesting when I read some of these things, and first of all, I'm losing credit. I'm losing respect for the Observer day after day after day. It's only getting worse. Right? And a lot of the newspapers in the UK, apart from maybe the London Times, the Mirror, the Sun, the Daily Mail. A lot of them are owned by damn Rupert Murdoch anyway. The Star. They're what you call tabloids. Tabloids' job is to create sensational stories. Lurid, vulgar. They make allegations which they can't substantiate. They're not to be believed. So let me go to the Observer, what I read in the Observer about the Greenwood situation. Macy Greenwood plans to speak. Yeah, hello?
Cranky.
Yeah.
I think I posted the thing twice, and for some reason, like, it's not being seen. So I don't know if you could post it. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay. If you send it to me, I'll try to post it.
All right.
So I'm going to read what the Observer says, then we can talk about it. So the Observer says, Mason Greenwood plans to speak with, and this is not only Observer, people, because I think it was in the Mirror, one of those newspapers. Mason Greenwood plans to speak to England head coach Thomas Tuchel to ascertain his chance of being a part of the national team before making a decision about switching his allegiance to Jamaica, according to media reports. According to media reports, then they say the Sun reported that while Tuchel will not take over the England team until January 1st, Greenwood is hoping that a change of bosses could see him represent the team on a senior level. So you said media sources for the Greenwood, but then you're saying the Sun for the Tuchel situation. Why don't you quote your source? Why don't you quote the newspaper you got it from? I don't understand that. Right? He said, however, according to reports, if this is not possible, the Olympic Marseille star plans to accept Reggae Boyz coach Steve McLaren's invitation to play for Jamaica. It is reported in August that Greenwood began the process of switching allegiance to the Reggae Boyz, however, it was not confirmed that this was completed. Now, I know they're only reporting what they heard, but for Christ's sake, Observer, and this go for Gleaner too, stop doing lazy journalism. Stop. It's annoying. So when you disseminate this to the Jamaican community, they're going to read it as if it's fact. And when some of these YouTubers who do no investigation, who doesn't check the credibility of their sources, who don't realize what a tabloid does, who don't realize that in England, some people don't want Green to play for Jamaica. They want him to play for any international team. They want him to just go away, drop off the face of the earth. That they'll say anything, and they're going to use the word source to substantiate or to make it seem like they're reliable. Now, you would say, Cranky, who are you to be talking about these things if you know everything? No, I don't. But I have my sources too. And I got two sources. One no, I'm going to see if I can find my sources information. One source I spoke to directly, right? The other source texts me. And they basically say this is hogwash. And these are reliable sources. This is hogwash. My son is calling me. I'm not going to take the call, but let me just tell him I'm going to call him back. They basically said this is hogwash. This is nonsense. It's crap. And they walked me through why it's crap. First of all, when I heard the story, I thought, I know, given the way England operates, there's no way Greenwood play for England again. I don't care what Tuchel want to say, because here's how it work in my mind. And Speed said this. Speed said in Jamaica, they don't interfere with the national team. That's the coach prerogative to do. But I bet they determine the availability pool. So if they say Blake is not going to play, coach, you can't consider Blake, you can't consider Lowe, they're not telling him who to pick. They're telling him who he can pick. There's a difference. I'm telling you, not telling you who to pick, but this player is not in the pool you can pick from. Exactly, Drew Ross. The FA will tell Tuchel, this player is not in your pool, so there's not a consideration. People, are you thinking right? You think about this. You think Man U would give on Greenwood if the British public would have accepted Greenwood? FA don't have no control over this either. Tuchel don't have no control over this. The public, especially women in Britain, I would say in England, let's not say Britain, even though it's so almost like one community, but they're different countries in Britain. There's no way they would allow it. There'd be too much pressure. And the media there is toxic. Right? What is Rob Smith talking about? Angling and Green? What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Rob, you guys have your own conversation. I know what you're talking about. I know what you guys are talking about. But anyway, they wouldn't allow it in the UK. That's why Man U, look, when Man U first agreed to let Greenwood come back to the club, you know, he doesn't realize Man U had made a decision he's going to come back. Man U said they did their own investigation and they were going to allow him to come back. What happened was, hello, woman said we're not having it. We're not having it. We're not having it. So because they weren't having it, the club had to let him go, sell him to Marseille. Now, as I've said before in my program about Greenwood, kids make mistake. Kid made a mistake, but some people don't think that way. So I don't think there's any way under God's earth that's going to happen. But having even said that, people, having even said that, at the end of the day, people, the fact of the matter is my understanding, I've been told the kid has not reached out to anyone and has not made suggestion he wants to change allegiance. The problem we're having is this, and I said this earlier in the program. We need a better process to get kids who want to change, who want to not change, who want to get Jamaica, to get anyone who has certain skills that the country value to go through a VIP expedited process to get their papers. As I said, Isaac Hayden papers went in after Greenwood. He's going to get his stuff before Greenwood does. If Bobsy Grange, if the Prime Minister, if the head of PICA got involved, I'm just throwing this out there, I'm sure this will get done and it'll be available for the November window. Let me repeat that again. If Bobsy Grange, no, let me repeat that again. If the JFF, that's Ricketts and Speed, those are the ones I think are influential, engage with Bobsy Grange and even the Prime Minister and the head of PICA and work through the challenges that they're facing in the process, I think the kid would get his papers. That's all I say on that. But to come on YouTube and make these statements and then have a whole show talking about him not choosing Jamaica and what it is and all that nonsense, that's why I stopped watching some of these YouTube channels. Because you guys are just creating situations which are not meant to be created. It doesn't have to be created. Your first question should be, and I understand that these papers have good following and these papers have breadth and width. But come on, people. They're tabloids. You can't believe half of what they say. No, I think it's his grandfather, Dre. I think it's his grandfather. I think his father. But there's some, I think his grandfather, Dre, not father. But there's some, he has to get his people, he has to get his Jamaican citizenship and his passport. And he don't have them yet. Let's just say that, right? The JFF, give them credit, were proactive in trying to get his allegiance changed, right? In trying to get his allegiance changed. Yeah, exactly. So he's trying to get his allegiance changed. I mean, I'm sorry, the JFF was proactive, give them credit, in trying to get this done in the upfront, just in case he gets it. At the end of the day, the kid is going to play for Jamaica at some point, but the process is slow. Right? But let's stop talking about Mason Greenwood and him doing XYZ. Mason Greenwood, his name is not Amari Hutchinson. Hutchinson made his decision. That's his prerogative. Greenwood eventually will play for Jamaica. The question is not if, but when. Unless he changes his mind, which is his prerogative too. But it's not if, that when. But people are spreading stuff which no go so. Right? There's a process. You mentioned Louis Baker before. Louis Baker may want to play for Jamaica. I don't think it's going to happen. Isaac Henry will play for Jamaica. Isaac Hayden, why am I keep saying Henry? Will play for Jamaica. And at this moment, Greenwood situation is up in the air because it has to be worked through. But stop people going on YouTube saying what I call lies, actually. Because what the papers are saying, my understanding, is a lie. They're lying. They're trying to create, some people believe they're trying to prevent him from playing for Jamaica. So that's what they're doing. Others believe it's just being naughty. Others believe people just making up stories to generate news. Well, the Observer said they got it from some other source. And it wasn't in the British paper. But they say things all the time which are not true. All the time. So if I was to guess, I think it's a 5 actually. Out of 10, I think it's 5. It's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. Question is when. Crank say fake news in the Trump boy. Yeah, it's fake news. 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 People gotta do better. We gotta do better, people. Come on, people. We gotta do better. And YouTubers, it's like some of the YouTubers don't want. They are so dying for views. They don't want to bring substance to the table. So I'm not calling any YouTubers by name. I'm just talking general. Like some of the people who are asking so many questions in these forums. We're not doing our due diligence to ask the right question. Because if I was in the forum, I'm asking the coach, what do you do when you're not in Jamaica? If they give me a chance to ask questions remotely, and I've asked, they're not allowing it, I'm going to say, coach, what do you do when you're not in Jamaica? Why aren't you here helping the country develop its football program? Are you paid part-time? You're paid full-time? No, Ernest. I don't know any, which is interesting. I don't know any Ernest. But I know that the coach Bugsby is doing a good job of trying to recruit players. They have a 20-year-old coming to the team. Why is that 20-year-old not waiting for England, like the coach is telling us on the men's team? That's interesting. One day waiting to see if England is their last whatever. Why isn't that their right? If you go recruit players, look, if the JFF had a program in place years ago, and we don't have the Antonio situation, which sometimes turn off certain players, and they're doing it the right way, make them feel welcome, have them meet the people here, make them feel like part of the culture, bring them in, ingratiate them, it'd be a different experience. They could then go back or sell the program. You can go sell a program when people buy your wrong ticket and tell you, say, welcome and a booyah at the stadium. You can't sell that. They'll sell that too. Plus, these people don't understand. People like Hayden played for under 16, under 17, under 18, under 19, under 20 for England. Why would he want to play for the senior team for England? Until he can't walk anymore. Why wouldn't he expect to play for them? He played at all levels. Like how you do that? Why you guys think that we think when we have a right to have these people play for us? Why do you think we have a right to do so? When they're born in another country, they went through their system, they're the one who coach them, they don't want to spend money on them, they have friends in the program. Why we think we have a right to somehow them come play for us? And some of you guys are talking about we don't want them refuse with. It's so annoying to hear sometimes, as if these people are obligated to represent us when they didn't born in the country. We ain't do nothing for them. They didn't go to school in Jamaica. The government didn't spend no money on them. And as Antonio said, he's spending his own money to go to Jamaica. First time he did. Jamaica didn't do nothing for him. He didn't grow up in Jamaica. He didn't get any of the tax dollars that we spend on our citizens. So why you guys want to beat them? Hey, Rob, that's the coach to decide, Rob. That's the coach to decide. The coach to decide. That's the coach to decide. Right? That's the coach to decide. The coach did say that you have to be playing football to be in his team, right? So let's see if he's a liar like every other coach that I know. I wouldn't call him liar. They bend the truth. If you hear Arteta attack sometime, they just say things which that's not true. But a lot of coaches do that. Or they say things, they use euphemism when we know what the real deal is, right? But coaches do that. They're trying to sometimes protect their players, or they don't want to answer a question. To me, just don't answer the question. Yes. Well, I heard Robert scored the other day in the 10th division of the UAE. But if he's playing corner league, I think he's better than most of the midfielder in this team. Yeah, or he can move right off the field, League Republic. One of them. He can move right off the field. I like Antonio, but when I criticize Antonio's game, people give me a hard time. Like Claudine, who was in the chat a while ago. And I'm saying nobody's above criticism. And nobody's above, and everybody deserves praise when they deserve praise. Right? Yeah, Damien, I understand. They should have come play for us because we're the greatest thing in sliced bread. They should come play for us because we're Jamaica. You didn't hear about us? You know our brand is global. Who do you think you are want to go play for England instead of playing for us? Who do you think you are want to wait in England when to go play for us and not come play for us right away when we call you? Are you out of your mind? What are you drinking? We're Jamaica. You haven't heard about us? I don't get you. You grew up in England. So what? So what? You grew up in England. You play for England at 17, 18, 19, 21? You think you can play for England? All your friends live in England? All your families in England, you never been to Jamaica before? Come play for us because we're Jamaica. I don't know who you think you are. We're Jamaica. You haven't heard about us. You better know yourself. You English people who talk about you don't want to come play for Jamaica. I want to wait for England. You got to know yourself. All right? You got to know yourself. You don't know about us, Jamaican? I can't believe you haven't heard about us. We're the best thing ever. Right? We have great beaches. We have a brilliant people. We don't do anything wrong. We're perfect. We're a utopia. You have to come play for us because we are the people. And if you don't come play for us, if you're Amari Hutchinson, you talk what you want. Yeah, use you come play for one time. If people have some bad field, then boo you. And you talk about you now come back. Go ahead. Don't ever come back to us. We don't ever want you again. Because we have players in our midfield who are better than you. Reed is better than you. All these people are better than you. And when you come play for us, we're not getting anything out of it. You're playing for us. It's all about you and your family. You're benefiting. We're making your name for you. We're giving you game time. You ain't no good. You're a reject. You're an English reject. We have the Kyle Butlers of the world who are brilliant footballers. Oh, we attached to Bailey come play for you, but that didn't work out. But we're brilliant footballers. I don't think who you think you are, you Jamaica, talk about you English player, talking about you English heritage player. Talk about you want to wait for England. I cannot believe you don't get this. You don't get this. When I hear these conversations, I have to shake my head and say, you know what? Man. But Devon is true. But Devon is true. It's a fact. You never heard about Jamaica. I'm gonna tell you, you know what? I should do a skit on this. I have a skit I wrote, I wrote a skit people and I put it on hold. About the coach, by the way, and I put it on hold. I say, you know what? No one caused no controversy, but one day I may just publish it. I wrote it, but I didn't act it out. I said it may be like my music, it may not be good. So, but I'm just saying this, people. The narrative needs to change. We can't be expecting people who born in another country. You know what the funny thing about it is? Mexico and US are fighting over players on a regular basis. They're fighting over them. At every level. We have quotas to tell some of them you can't come play for it. The only one can come play is the one we want. We don't want you at a certain age because you're not good. You're good enough and better than what we have, but we don't want you. We don't want you. We only want to feel you. The ones who we think we can get play when we want to. We're going to take the few that we want. We're going to pick out a few. Just make it look good. But we have to play on the island who are not as good as you are, but we're going to play them. When you get to an adult, we don't have a quota. Well, we have a little quota, but it's not material. So you should come play for us because we are Jamaica. And you talk about you want to play for England, you're out of your mind. And don't talk about you want to refuse us in your earliest years and then come later because we don't want you then, even though you're better than what we have. Jesus, Lord. What kind of mad people then we have? And the reasoning, and I listen to somebody's reasoning on somebody's channel, so I decided to stop watching somebody's channel, just stop watching them. I'm like, we need to improve the education system in Jamaica. Because I heard somebody say the other day, between 7th and 12th grade, 33% of the people can't read. And I'm thinking, I hear a lot of them on YouTube that sound like that. Because the logic escapes me. And then people can say, oh, Cranky, you act like you're an elitist, you act like you're smarter than everybody else. No, actually, I think the opposite. I think we don't maximize our potential as a people. I think sometimes we're so parochial in our views, and we are so influenced by those around us, we don't think for ourselves. Right? We don't think for ourselves. When you have to, I've always said this. A lot of times I was in the corporate environment or in private. I'm a maverick. I'm out there on an island by myself drowning, and I'm thinking, I can't say. Like, I was in a meeting before I left. I think I said this before. We're in a meeting, 5 of us in a senior meeting, and the person who took over the department was saying something. Well, there was like 7 of us. So 3 people were like, yeah, agree. And 2 were silent. I know why they were silent. They didn't agree, but they didn't want to say anything. And I put up my hand and said, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm totally disagree. Here's why. And the other 2 came out there and thanked me. Like, oh, I'm thinking, why you just speak up? I'm not going to be here a month from now. Why are you speaking up? Like, that's not how life's supposed to be. Because here's another thing. Real leaders don't want to yes people around them. Real leaders don't want to yes people around them. You want people can challenge you so that you know when you make a decision, it can stand up to scrutiny. You don't want no yes people around you. If you have yes people around you, that's why Charles Barkley said about Michael Jordan, Michael get vexed and ban him for life. You don't want racist people around you. You want people who are going to challenge you to make you better. So this whole Greenwood situation, let me just conclude on that saying, my understanding is, based on my reliable sources, it's not true. It's made up. It's false. It's made to cause trouble. And you YouTubers out there promoting this narrative and this nonsense, stop. It's not a good thing. Because you have no basis for your position. Not because you're reading the Observer or the Mirror. Because the Observer acts like the Mirror right now. It says in media reports, but you explain your source for one case, but you explain your source for Greenwood thing. Stop creating situations out there. In fact, that's a turnoff for the kid if you hear all these people telling him how he's this and how he's that. All right? Why would you feel good about that? Well, you have enough problems in your life with the situation that occurred previously. These people are just exacerbating the situation. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, some people say they focus on club. It's a euphemism, Rob, to say, you know what? I'm not like Nelson. I want some time to think about what I'm doing. I don't want to commit to Jamaica because I may have a chance to play for England. So let me see if my club form improve and I get in. That's what it is. I have no problem with that, enough people. I have no problem taking. I don't eat what left, but I have no problem taking what left if what left is better than what I have, because they have no obligation to play for us. They have no reason to play for us. None. We haven't done anything for them. Nothing. I hear somebody who's born in Jamaica, who lived there until he was a teenager, saying Jamaica can't do nothing for him. That means Jamaica hasn't done anything for him. So, and didn't play for Jamaica initially because they're making demands. So I have no understanding why some of the people think, why some people think that these kids who said they want to wait for England are just the worst people in the world. I don't understand that. Antonio, the podcast full versus England states all about Jamaica is not improved. It does not improve for the guys. Yeah, I gotta listen to the entire podcast, Claudine. But the point is that I don't know why people think that these. And first of all, it's not like we go into the Middle East. It's not like you going to Saudi Arabia, where you're going to live in luxury, right? So you say, you know what, come play for me. You live in luxury. They're taking a step down in terms of facilities. Come to Jamaica. In terms of resources and facilities, they're taking a step down. It's like they're settling. You ever thought about it, people that they're settling for Jamaica? And that should not be good for them? Why should they settle? They could take the flip side and say, no, we're settling for Jamaica. Why are you settling? Wait for England. Why are you settling? Why you decide to go play for Jamaica eventually? Even when you're 40, you shouldn't come play because you're settling. But we think we're so great and we are omnipotent and we are the be-all, end-all. So therefore, they have to come play for us. And some of these YouTubers are making this argument over and over again, and it's annoying. Annoying. Doesn't make any sense. I am glad if any of those kids eventually decide to come play for us. Because here's the thing, people. We have the option of saying yes or no. And look at people like Russ who come play for us. Russ come play in the Gold Cup, we don't call him back. Hello. You ain't gonna go to the World Cup. Did he enhance his reputation by doing that? So now if you have a chance, if you get better, he came play for England, if you get a chance. If you get much, much better, if you mature late, can't happen. We're just sometimes very inconsiderate, not very thoughtful, like to believe that we're the cream of the crop and everybody should acquiesce to us. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. Yeah, Chris. Look, I understand people's frustration sometimes. It's like a player, like a player you want to come play for your club. Your club is better, you believe. But you know what? It's not a good analogy because we're not better. I don't even know to think about it. We're asking a player to take us. A player aspired to play for Arsenal. And Ipswich want the player. And the player's going to wait for Arsenal. Because I think I can make Arsenal. And Ipswich is saying, we don't want you if you come to us. Because you want to wait for Arsenal. Whatever. I have to laugh. Seriously. I have to laugh. The point I'll say about these people is this. So I'll close up by saying this. Because I want to start the show at 8 o'clock. I'm just past 8. I'll say this. One is that welcome Isaac Hayden. Hopefully everything will be done by, I think it should be done by November. Welcome Isaac Hayden. If you play like how you play at Newcastle, you're going to be the best midfielder we have right now. If you play like how you play at Newcastle, now you're a little bit older and you had a bad knee injury, you will help us big time in the midfield because we need help, especially CDM role. Secondly, for Louis Baker, I'm sorry to know that I'm glad to hear you want to play for Jamaica, but I'm sorry to say that I don't think that's going to happen. And third, Mason Greenwood. If Bobsy Grange, Brogard, Ricketts, Speed all convene and get together and work a peak ahead, we can get it done. This is the last call for the evening. Good evening. Hello?
Frankie,
Yes.
I hate to call your show back a second time.
Okay.
But this particular topic that you're talking about,
Yeah.
I think this is one that you probably could provide a little more perspective on. I think sometimes, and I'm not speaking specifically to Jamaica or anywhere here, it's just I think people sometimes, nobody represents the player perspective in these conversations, which is what I think you're trying to do. In terms of the sacrifice that the players make. Look, I think every player, I don't think there's a player that plays professional football that does not understand. Number one, it's a privilege to play professional football, and it's a privilege and an honor to represent the national team.
Yep.
I think players understand that. However, I don't think anybody takes it, much people take into consideration that the players make sacrifice to play for a national team. And we can list them. We can probably list about a dozen sacrifices. But if we look at the financial consideration, a lot of times, in most cases, the financial consideration does not match. It is not as rewarding as it would be at their football club. In many ways, from per diem to pay to what they get paid to play for the tournament, if they get paid, it just doesn't match up. So that's a sacrifice. And in making that sacrifice, they're putting their career at risk, right? Injuries can happen. We could just look at Neymar. Neymar just spent the last year out of the game. Where did he get injured? He got injured with his national team. That impacted his club career considerably because he couldn't play for a year. Despite not playing for a year and seemed to be ready to play again, his first set of football is probably going to be for his national team again.
Yeah.
Because it's an honor for him to play for his national team. He's going to take that risk again. You know what I'm saying? While his club spending money and time rehabbing him, he may not play for them in a hurry because if he goes to international duty and get hurt, right?
Yeah.
There's the pressure, right? There's heat-on players when they go into the national environment because the fans want performances and they don't take into consideration that sometimes the travel, okay, it's physically demanding when you're flying across continents to try to be with your national team. And that alone opens up the risk of injury, right? Because you show up today and you got to play in 3 days. You just flew 9-10 hours. This discussion was had by a player in your space in some context, and I think it probably was had for different reasons.
Right.
And when all of this is happening, you just supported Jamaica, for example, in the Gold Cup and in Copa America. That's time that those families spend away from their families. Those players spend away from their families.
During the summer too, when they're supposed to have time off.
During the summer, when they're supposed to be relaxing and trying to get their body prepared to enter preseason again, to do what in the place where they earn their money. Right. So I think sometimes people could consider that these players are sacrificing a lot to be with the national team. Yep. It's a privilege. It's an honor. I don't want anybody to go and quote me and say that whatever the case may be, it's recognized. And the reason why I understand that, because I have kids that play for a national team, and they know it's a privilege and they know it's an honor, and they do it because they want to.
But you also know the sacrifices they make to play for the national team too.
Right.
You understand the sacrifice. You're in the best place to understand the sacrifices they're making.
I understand it. I live among it. So I think sometimes the conversation could be a little bit different. You know, we see the way they behave in England with the national team players. We don't have to be like them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Look, the players have to perform when they show up. Right? We want them to perform. But sometimes the environment is not like they have it.
Yeah.
right? The weather condition, did anybody consider that when they play in the region, the temperature is different? Right?
When they play in Jamaica, they come from there nice, and you know that they don't have bad fields in England, right? That's a fact. They don't have bad fields that these players play in England.
But
they come to the Caribbean and
everything, most things are different. And then on top of that, is there a potential that they could probably become too relaxed? There's a number of things that can affect performances. And I think there seems to be one section of people that just believe that once you show up for the national team, you should be able to produce what you produce on the club level. And yes, that's what we want to see. But is the environment conducive to those performances?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add that, because I think the discussion that you're having is an important one, but I just feel like listing some of the things that players have to contend with, right? I think it's important to have the conversation along. So I appreciate you allowing me to call back a second time.
And I appreciate you bringing that up, because I was just doing more in a facetious way to say it's ridiculous that we're having this conversation and we're taking it from one direction and one perspective and not thinking about from the player's side as you're doing, which is more of you're saying, what is it that the experiences would be like when they made that decision? And I'm saying we're taking this as if they're obligated to us. We give no credence to where they're born. We're believing they're born something. Look, we would lose our minds. I'm gonna give you an example, people. So Merlin Ati changed nationality, right? She go run for another country. After she's produced for Jamaica all these years, she still get beaten. You think about that. So she was Jamaica at one point, period. Men and women. Late 80s. I know we had a couple of runners, but 80s, early 90s, it was all Merlin Ati. It was all Merlin Ati. 80s and 90s were all Merlin Ati. Right? And she got beaten when she go play for another. Can you imagine some young Jamaican footballer who have certain abilities say, you know what? My grandparents are from China, or they're from Haiti, or from Trinidad. I'm going to go play for them. How we lose our minds? But we don't think about the reverse side with these kids who would live in a country where if some of them are at a certain level, they're going to get pressure from that country to say, why you go play for XYZ? Yep. You hear how Ireland deal with Grealish or we deal with Rice, who were born in the UK, by the way, but play for Ireland because of heritage, and then get crucified by people from Ireland because they decided to play for England. It's crazy.
When you're a young player and you go away, you play for another country, and you're trying to you go away in the international window, you can come back and for several reasons could find yourself watching football on game day, right? Yeah. Maybe because you come back, there's a conflict in the schedule. There's not all the leagues stop their football, but you come back today and there's a game in 2 days, and they can decide, well, you traveled all these hours.
Yep.
We're not going to risk you, right? So you've just lost, right? Because in a lot of these players' contracts, sometimes they may have a bonus for being on the roster, and they may have a bonus for starting, a bonus for playing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's money's lost even after they come back.
Yeah.
Right. So the sacrifice is tremendous, and I think the contribution is to hopefully that people could think a little bit more about the sacrifice the players making, and not see it as, well, you have to give up everything if you want to come play for us. I think they're already making a tremendous sacrifice.
No, and they are. And I'm not going to say all YouTubers are the ones who are creating this situation. Obviously, more traditional newspapers are doing this, which I think is unfair to the person, unfair to his family, unfair to the player. Some are just trying to cause problems. Some are just trying to create news. Some are just trying to sell newspapers. But I would expect someone like the Observer, if we're talking about somebody who's going to play for Jamaica and who have a certain pedigree, they would have done better. They would caveat what they produce. So let's say they produce it. They would caveat it. They don't caveat it. They just plank. We hear from media reports. They throw it out there. People take it as a Bible. And it's just not a good thing.
All right. Did you put the link out?
You sent it to me? Wait 1 second.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh, let me try to find it before I close down. All right. I'm going to try to find it and put it out.
Yeah, let me go before Big Deal Len accuse you of running a trade at you.
Wait, hold on. No, I don't see it. Which when you said the WhatsApp or regular?
No, I sent text messaging. I probably sent it on your
Regular?
it's
Oh,
on
okay,
your
okay. So I have to then.
it's on I don't know if it's on
I
regular.
got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because I sent it twice and like they didn't see it.
All right. So let me try to pull it up and then I disseminate it. All right. Thanks.
All right, give thanks.
Let me try to find these people and I'll drop the link. Let's see if it works. It may not work. Yep. You guys check on that and see if that link works actually. I think I sent it, but check and see if it works. It went, you know what? I can check it myself. Yep, it works. So I just dropped the link that Andre alluded to, where Trevor Noah and Ta-Nehisi Coates and another lady was speaking. Each of you in the chat should listen to it. Don't just the ones who just want to listen to football. Expand your mind into something apart from reggae football. All right? But anyway, let me just close out people by saying this. First of all, I don't take your attendance here for granted. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the conversation. It was a good conversation. I will leave this space tonight by saying this. By the way, tomorrow I'm not doing a regular show. I'm doing a watch along for my Knicks. They're on, I think, 7:30 tomorrow playing against Boston. Season opener. I'm excited. I did drop a video on this yesterday, so go watch a video if you're a basketball fan. Thought I spent a lot of time doing it. So bless up Parish Council. You're too late. Parish Council, may I close down? May I close on Parish Council? But thanks for joining. You can watch a video. Parish Council in the background. So I'm gonna watch my Knicks tomorrow, but I come back on Wednesday. And let me just say this, people. I'm not saying all YouTubers are bad. I'm not saying YouTubers are bad generally. I'm just saying YouTubers, you sometimes have a certain narrative, which is not appreciated. It's just not right. What you're doing sometimes is not right. Can't just be for views. Views are important. That's why people do YouTube sometimes, for views. Important, but you got to manage what you're saying. And I know some people think that we're all toxic, and toxic is in the eyes of the older, because what I may deem not to be toxic someone may be toxic for someone else. So me bringing up the coach on where he is maybe need to be toxic. But if that makes me toxic, I'm going to be very toxic because I'm bringing it up. I want, if you work for Jamaica, then you work for Jamaica. Don't work for yourself. You're not doing part-time job. You're doing full-time job. Right? You're doing full-time job. So anyway, I'll close up by saying thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. If you want to come for the watch along tomorrow, please do so. Otherwise, I'll see you on Wednesday. And I have to go out with my hit song, Cranky Live. Someone's gonna say your hit song. So opposite to me, not a song, somebody talking, but whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna go out with it. Peace. And by the way, people, I did both 200 in that game. That's in the video. Just saying. Good night, everyone. Bye. Cranky Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Cranky Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Tell them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Life. Tune into Cranky Life. Like up Cranky Life. subscribe to Cranky Life. Cranky Life, coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Life, sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Life, me say fi tell them Cranky Life. Me say fi heed them Cranky Life. On them, Cranky Life. Cranky Life will be around. Cranky Life is the best in town. Me say fi eat them, me say fi want them. Me say fi eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Cranky. Eat them, want them, eat them, want them. Eat, want, eat them.